Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. How are y'all doing?
Movie channel. We got the movies, and it's on channel. We're the movie channel.
Sci-fi TV and movie channel, actually.
Movies and television channel.
Well, and I think poetry.
United won! United won!
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? Really?
It literally just, my announcement literally just came up. I know we were winning, but I didn't think we'd win. 2-1! Man City at City. Fucking hell, come on! Sorry.
Movies, television, and football. Football. Go Manchester United.
Well,
Okay, mate. We don't need any more singing.
Poem.
If you start singing, I'll start singing, and then I'll be back to last Christmas with me singing bloody 12 Days of Stargate, and we'll lose.
Stargate, my goal.
Indeed.
Indeed, it was. And that time Sam blew up a star. Before we get started, I'm going to have my drink, and I have got banana
cake rum. I thought that said
banana cake rum.
Nut rum, and I was just wondering.
It's my advent calendar this year. I didn't have chocolates. Instead, I had rum, and it's 12 random rums.
Not 25?
No, weirdly only 12. But I'm on day 3, and I've sort of spaced it out so I'm not drinking too much rum on
any given day.
Doesn't smell of anything.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not sure, but I have mine with Coke, so I'm gonna think about it. Oh fucking hell! Oh Christ, how strong is that?
Well, hopefully it's strong enough.
We'll know in about half an hour.
It's 44%.
Jesus.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, right?
Right. Anyway.
Woo!
We're just getting into the thing. I just saw the message a second ago saying Furiosa was a really good film, and it might not have made its money back in the cinema, but it was a good film, so it's not a flop. Even brilliant films can be flops.
Yeah.
The flop point is how much money does it make at the cinema.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna make a point about maybe we need to rethink what a flop is. But we'll get into that.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, Blade Runner is kind of that same thing where it didn't make its money back, but it's still a damn good movie. But it's still a flop, sadly. It is. It sucks, but it is.
That just tastes like Coke with a lot of vodka in it.
Are you getting any of the banana flavor out of it?
Nope. No cake
banana
flavor either. No banana, no cake. Oh, what are you going to do?
Potassium.
Yeah. Club size, sipping, United. Come on, baby. I don't give a shit how bad it was. We get the 3 points. Before we get into it then, guys, obviously there's a few movies this year, including Craven, which Harris has seen and we haven't.
I've just seen.
Yeah, but you can tell us about this and give us a review in a sec. What is the movie this year that you think or is there a movie this year that you've been most disappointed by? That you're actually like, I'm really excited about this. And then when you've seen it, you've gone...
In the sense of like it actually flopping, or in the sense of like,
just that you were really looking forward to, then you've gone to watch it. And guys, get into the comments as well.
Movie or is it just a movie or TV or
just movie? Because we're talking about flops at the cinema, aren't we? So just a movie this year that you've gone to see and thought, oh shit, that was bad.
Man, I gotta think.
It's not easy, is it?
Well, I didn't get to see it that much this year, but there was also some.
I was actually okay with the Madam Web. It's just that the end was awful. I actually didn't hate the movie. Was that this year? That was this year, wasn't it? It wasn't end of last year. Yeah, that was
February. Which feels like forever ago.
Venom, I think, was probably the film that was most disappointing for me.
I didn't even see it. I saw Craven over Venom.
Well, I was disappointed though because I was really hoping they were going to go out in a bang, and they just didn't.
And Nolan's a cool character too. They had everything that they needed to go out with a bang as well, and it just didn't look like it was.
Yeah, it just didn't happen.
Expendables 4 was this year too, right?
That was seriously disappointing as well, actually, because
that was one I wasn't like stoked about, but it was like, okay, we got freaking more Expendables. Give us some slide. Tulsa King's been good. Statham's on his like come up again. Let's do it. Like, oh, it was vomit on screen. It was awful.
It was just a mess. It was like they didn't really, there's like they thought to do a movie, but then why did you do a movie and then not have Sylvester Stallone in it? Just don't bother.
At all. I guess
but was it the end of last year? Was it?
Right.
Yeah, I think that was over a year ago now because I've seen that.
Oof. It's still hurts thinking about it. But like that, there were a lot of those this year. Craven and I think Madam Web kind of fit in that bill.
I mean, Argyle comes to mind as
Argyle.
Treacherous, at least to me. I mean, I know a lot of people hated on Dune. And I know a lot of people hated on Furiosa. I love Furiosa. I love Dune.
I didn't like Furiosa.
But Argyle was just, I mean,
it was a hot mess.
It was a hot it was a hot mess. I mean, it really was. I mean, God, did it suck?
It had so much. I mean, and the trailers looked pretty good. That was the most annoying thing.
The cast was great.
Yeah, cast was great. It's just, I'm not but I think it was the writing. I don't think the direction. I mean, I think the director, I forget his name, but I think they did okay with what they had. But I think the writing was the central to its failure. I think. I don't know. What do you guys think?
There's a film. I actually watched it last night. Weirdly, randomly. That is much, much better, and it stars the same guy. I can't remember his name. No. The guy, the main character, Dean's, him. And it's called Mr. Right. And it's got that Australian chick in it who's gorgeous and adorable and married to Sacha Baron Cohen.
Isla Fisher.
Yeah. No, the other one. I always mix her and Isla Fisher up.
It's Anna Kendrick and Mr. Right, though, yeah.
Anna Kendrick, who isn't married to Sacha Baron Cohen, because Isla Fisher is, and I always mix those two chicks up. Right. Anyway, Anna Kendrick is just amazing in it. That is a much, much better movie than Argyle. And it would have cost almost nothing, and almost nobody saw it, Mr. Right. And it's a fantastic movie. It's on Netflix here in the UK. It's a great film. I watched it about 4 times. And Argyle it just didn't work, and I can't put my finger on one thing that wasn't right. I just thought of another film actually was disappointing. I was worried though, when we saw the trailer and there's the bit where he jumps down and the cat comes back up and goes,
yeah.
And it was very badly done. I was watching that thinking, I'm not sure this film's going to be any good. And then I went and it was just awful. It was just really,
and you were right.
Yeah. I just came out, but it's one of those films you just come out and just go, I didn't like any of it, but I don't quite know why.
I liked all of it, or elements of all of it, and I didn't end up liking any of it, if that makes sense. Kind of like just what you were saying, it just didn't pan out any way it should have. If you're ice skating on oil on concrete by the end of your movie,
So there was another movie called Mr. Right, but it was it was starring Ellen DeGeneres back in the day, before she became a talk show host, and it's about her dating a guy, and this guy was just it was horrible. It too was horrible, but
the
90s, I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah, they divorced earlier in the year, but apparently it was a very friendly divorce. I kind of remember that movie. I remember Ellen DeGeneres doing a couple of movies. No, she shouldn't.
What's the movie with her and McConaughey and Woody Harrelson as like the family or whatever like that? I was just seeing something about this past week and I'd never heard of it. And now I kind of want to just go watch it. I don't know if I've actually ever seen an Ellen movie. I know of them. Just never watched one. I don't know if I have the desire to.
Not my cup of tea. But that's banana cake rum literally tastes of nothing. I'm even thinking about going to get number 4 out and pour this in to see if it spices this up a little bit. I'm so disappointed.
She needs spicy rum cake or spicy banana cake.
Spicy rum. That's why you want a bit of spicy rum. That's very disappointed by that.
But okay, so I do have an article here that has we have the 10 biggest flops of the year, but we also have, I think it's what's the film? Is it just film? Is it film slash? That's what it is, right? Slash film. That's what it is. An article with all of the biggest flops of 2024 so far. When was this one written? Oh, this was written in April. So this is like the first half of the year, then we'll get to the actual 10 overall. But just to start off, play a little game. First off, do you remember this movie? Second off, did you see it? Third off, does it make sense that it flopped? And that also will kind of correlate with 2 if, of course, we did not see it or not. So ISS, did y'all see it? Do y'all remember it?
I was almost going to watch it last night. I saw it on either Paramount Plus or Netflix. No, not Netflix, Prime. And but there was another movie that was right beside of it. So I clicked on that movie. I don't remember the title. And it was horrible. And so then I just went and started watching Lioness. But yeah, I've seen it advertised. I've seen it promoted. Have not watched it.
I watched it on IMAX.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it, did you?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. I can't remember what it's about.
Oh no.
But it's very pretty. On IMAX, it was very nice. But no, I didn't enjoy it. I just thought it was very big and grand. It was very cool on the on IMAX. But it was boring as slow. God, it was slow.
This was Ariana DeBose as well, if I remember right. The girl that was also just in Kraven the Hunter won the Oscar for West Side Story. Musical.
No, I don't know about that, but yeah. Oh, Beetlejuice. I didn't like that. I was really disappointed by Beetlejuice.
Oh, but that thing did not flop. It made money. And this made some money, but it did flop. This is kind of interesting, Monk, what you were talking about earlier, whether things actually flop or not. Ghostbusters technically didn't flop, and it technically flopped at the same time. It didn't make
money at the cinema, did it? Or did it require the international box office?
International did it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally, a flop is what does well in America. It's only really the last 20 years or so the international distribution has really been considered by the industry as whether film is important or not. It wasn't as good as the first one. We'll put it that way. So it was not disappointing. You come out of it going, that was a film, and it wasn't bad. But you come out of the first one going, Ghostbusters is back. That was amazing. Oh my God, I got goosebumps in this. But like, oh no, this wasn't that. So
no,
it was
I
a little
agree.
Disappointing.
I watched Afterlife right before it, and Harold Ramis' Ghost, like you just said, goosebumps, and then Frozen Empire. It's good, it's fun, but it's that middle of the road. I feel like.
So the first one was in the 80s. Thank you, Monk. You know what I meant.
I just need to add a correction. It was Ellen DeGeneres in Mr. Wrong, not Mr. Right. Mr. Wrong.
You were exactly oppositely wrong then.
And it was also her co-star was Bill Pullman.
Oh, cool.
And also it had Joan Cusack in it, Dean Stockwell, and Robert Goulet, and there was lots of.
I must have watched it.
It was 1990. What year was it? 96 or 98?
That's the one she's most well known for, right?
Well, the one she's most well known for is Nemo.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah, that makes I didn't even think about that for a second. Yeah, Miss Dory herself there.
Miss Dory, exactly. Oh, and she had her own movie. It was Nemo 2, and Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Michael, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And so
we're back to this again. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It is
Real
a Christmas
quick.
movie.
Just because we talked about it last week with old Greg on Radical Wasteland. We told y'all that he was doing his very Die Hard Christmas play. I went to go see it opening night. And of course, he had to mess with me. And I was like, okay, well, but put me in like one of the fun seats. He was like, there are a couple good seats. I was like, all right, there's going to be some fake blood around here. There's going to be something like tossed on us. Okay, it'll wash out of our clothes. Put us in like the front seat or whatever. No, lo and behold, I don't want to say it either. I don't want to like give it away. It's not too bad. Whatever. A little spoiler for a play you may or may not ever see is they purposely don't cast the leader of Mr. Nakamoti or Tagamoti, whatever his name
Nakamura.
Takamori.
Nakama.
Yeah, they purposely
I
don't
knew
cast
as soon
him,
as you said
so
it, I was
I
like, that's
was
wrong.
grabbed out of the
Okay.
crowd to be him for a moment or two.
Nakatomi. Thank you, Nakatomi.
Yeah. So no, they grabbed me out of the crowd and to play on stage with the actors completely out of nowhere for a couple minutes, and I was like completely out of my element for a moment. I was like, if you prepare me, I'm good. But it was hilarious. It was terrible. It was great. But anyway, just because we
Yeah, what was in the third one anyway? Yeah, I just think no, Die Hard's a Christmas movie because it's set at Christmas. It's not really like a Christmas because it's not about Christmas, is it? But it is a Christmas movie because it's set at Christmas.
It's
Go back
about
to the thing. I'm not saying
finding your
anymore.
family, maybe.
Well, I mean,
Promise I won't.
Will Ferrell and Elf is definitely a Christmas movie, and by that contention, Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie or Christmas movies because they have elves.
Elves, wizards, magical old men with long white beards. It's Christmas. It is perfect.
And The Hobbit had one ginormous fucking reindeer. Just saying.
And there's The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
Total Christmas, motherfucker.
The Grinch That Stole Christmas, the porn version. That's a Christmas movie.
Ayo.
And The Grinch gave 2 elves one each.
What was the title of that? Dick the Halls? Dick the Halls?
I don't know, man. I think I made it up. I'm hoping I really
The
hope
balls
there
of
is
football
a Grinch Stole
players?
Christmas
There's got to be
porn version.
actual versions of
Gargle,
that.
gargle, gargle, gargle.
I saw this on Instagram, like just sitting on the toilet this morning. Sorry, TMI, but scrolling through the normal stuff. Saw someone do To the Tune of War Pigs, Deck the Halls, and it was Deck the Halls are full of holly, and it was like perfectly in tune. I can't sing. I'm not gonna put y'all onto that, but I'll put you onto the video because that was absolutely hilarious. Deck the Halls with War Pigs. You'll have a great.
I want to see Deck the Halls do Mariah Carey. I mean, just for a fucking change, please. I can't go into Target anymore.
David B. Carry On is excellent. Definitely watch it. And I don't care what Bruce Willis said.
Yeah, I was just about to be so bad. I'm not even going to say what I was thinking. Y'all know what I was thinking. I was like, if he can't make it, never mind. Anyway, Arthur the King. Before we get into
I didn't watch this, but how was this a flop? Because it wasn't a particularly expensive film to make, was it?
I don't think it was ultimately that expensive to make. I just don't think anybody went to go see it. I wish this article gave us numbers, which they do not.
Yeah, I don't remember it coming out. I remember it coming out, but I didn't see it.
I literally, as I said, it didn't give us numbers. It gave us numbers. It opened to 7.6 million domestically. It made 24.5 million domestically, 6.6 added internationally for just 31 overall, and it was a $19 million production budget, so probably about a $40 million.
They probably made more in popcorn sales.
Probably, actually. This movie,
I
though,
did watch Arthur the King. It's the dog thing with Sorry, I'm on my phone, so it's really small. It's quite
with
good.
Mark Wahlberg. Oh, I cried. I was a little baby in it. I was like, can't help it,
It made money, so that's all it is, isn't it? But that was another one that was produced by streaming. It was at Amazon or something like that, wasn't it?
I want to say Sony, but I'm not.
Sony, might have been Sony. Yeah.
Positive. Lionsgate. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's completely.
Oh, and it's only for the domestic stuff for Lionsgate. It doesn't say who their international is. Huh. But you saw it and you liked it. Did you check it out? Did you know of it, or did you remember it, Stormy?
I got no idea.
It's based on a true story. It's really good.
It was a busy year for me, so I really didn't go to the theaters that much. Any movie I saw, it was like on streaming.
Yeah, it is on streaming because I don't think I watched it. That's why I think it's a streaming movie because I think it's on Netflix or Amazon here. I think so. I thought it was one of their productions, but anyway, I didn't go to the cinema to watch it. I just saw it streaming. It's very good.
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema, and it was great. It was just one of those heart tugging ones, but in a good way.
Yeah, great fun.
Like Happy Marley and Me, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the last time I was in a movie theater was Barbie.
Not even Dune?
No, like you know how much school I've had this year. I mean, it's been
especially early on.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that was last year. 2023 was Barbie, so I think that was the last time I was actually in a theater. You know, it's been a whole year.
Oh, Sarah didn't see it because she's not into live action animal movies. Interesting. Is that more for like?
Dog was CGI most of the time.
But it wasn't CGI for the most part. They had a little dog actor, which was nice.
Yeah, they did. If some of it was CGI, but not a great. The one effect was terrible when the dog started to drown. But Tony's got that right there. That it was based on a Swedish team. That was a real team, and the main guy really did adopt the dog at the end. But it died of cancer. That tumor thing that was on his back, was what eventually killed it.
That was a sad part. Yeah.
God, it sounds terrible. Why do
it's just
want me to go see it?
It's so sweet. He lives for years.
He lives for 5-6 years after the event. So.
Oh yeah. You just know about that. They just keep you updated from what happened years later, kind of deal. There's another story. It's a book
about dog cancer.
Yeah, dog cancer. Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, that running probably kept him kicking for a couple extra years, realistically. Though. You know. Still David. Oh my God. It's literally 15 years ago. That's 2009.
Yeah, they're still open after COVID. The cinemas are, so feel free to. The fair.
All right, next movie. We got Arthur. Drive Away Dolls. Did y'all remember this? Do you recognize it?
No.
Coen Brothers directed it.
Boy, I'd never. I'm surprised I haven't heard of it because of Coen Brothers, but yeah, Drive Away Dolls. No.
I didn't even see it. Y'all know I'm a Coen Brothers. I literally watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs at a party with the Tron soundtrack over it. We were doing a bunch of weird stuff. But
I bet you were doing a bunch of weird stuff.
It was like 3 a.m. So I should, Drive Away Dolls is the Coens. That's one that we would all be on. It just didn't hit the zeitgeist this year.
No. Yeah, everybody hit that big like button, guys. Like the video. Share the video, get people on.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
No.
Coen Brothers not even making it into the zeitgeist at all, which is interesting at all because Ballad of Buster Scruggs wasn't huge, but Netflix, that was the last thing I feel like they actually advertised, to a bunch of people. Who knows? Interesting. Drive Away Dolls, a bit of a wet fart, sadly, but Madam Web, was it a little drier, or was it a little closer to even a wetter fart?
Madam Web, I didn't hate, but it was basically on a par with what Sony do when Spider-Man isn't in a movie. They can do a Spider-Man movie, they just can't do anything else, and I don't know why. But it's just one of those films that you're just all the way through thinking, this isn't a bad film, but it should be better. The source material is so good. What the hell are they? How is this not better? But it was okay until the end.
I don't even know if it was that. I feel like anytime Adam Scott was on screen, it was okay. And the second Adam Scott was off screen, everybody was like, oh, shit, we're in this movie. It's just kind of what it felt like.
There's a random bit in the middle, when she basically like flies off to, I'm trying to remember the movie now, but she flies off and basically learns about her past. It's so random. It's just
leave the kids at a diner in the middle of nowhere.
And just fly to Africa. Or whatever it was, and then just fly back, and it's just like, oh, okay, random, but all right. It was okay, but I was expecting it to be shocking because everyone was saying this is all the worst film ever made, And I went into it with very low expectations, and it was okay.
And
I didn't want my money back anyway, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, that one got me just for the ADR, but I was pissed off leaving Craven. I wasn't pissed off leaving Madam Web. It was just kind of like a
Craven that bad.
Yeah, it was. What did I just watch? Really? Craven,
Really? Oh,
you wanted to punch the wall.
Oh man, that's a shame.
Oh, actually though, I don't know if y'all watched John Campea ever or not, but he did a little out of theater reaction and was visibly shaking during it. I was like, oh god, dude, that's not good. But it's bad. And Madam Web set up the stage for it. And okay, real quick, we talked about this last night when I was on Chillin' Stream. I kind of opened up the question to him because we were talking a little bit about Craven and just, Madam Web was the easy thing to use as an example. After Morbius, they were like, okay, well, that didn't do as well as Venom. Let's try this Madam Web.
Because it didn't do as well. That's understating it. This didn't do as well as Venom. This didn't do as well as anything.
Let's do another, So then they did Madam Web, which definitely didn't do as well as Morbius, which definitely didn't do as well as Venom, so on and so forth. And now they freaking did Craven. Would it have been, maybe not Madam Web, but especially Craven with that, and especially with them theaters pulling Craven out because they're saying that's going to be just a waste of space. It's not going to make us any money. It's not going to make the studio any money. Just take it out of the theater. Would it have been a better idea for them to learn a little bit from David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers Discovery and axe that thing for a big old tax cut and actually save all the actors in there a little? Because realistically, even though there are good actors and it's not going to keep them from getting another role, it's going to keep them from getting the same money they would have before it. Just simply put, you make a bad movie, your real estate lessens a little bit.
Maybe. I mean,
it's really that bad.
This shit's been done before in movie business,
Yeah. I mean, getting the tax cut thing, I get. But this was it. I mean, what was the budget on this? Was it 180 million or something, wasn't it? It's not a cheap film.
I think it was 110, if I remember off the top.
110 million dollars in
110 to produce, yeah.
And you still end up with that.
And it took 12 million domestic in the first weekend.
And we did mention it last night. It didn't. They knew the writing was on the wall a little bit. They probably didn't spend another $110 million on marketing, but they probably spent somewhere between 50 and 70. Probably about half as much as they typically would. And that's just assuming or guesstimating, whatever. It probably was even a little bit more than that just for the sake of actually trying to get the film seen.
And in theory, this was, and this is kind of the point of what we wanted to talk about today, isn't it, a little bit, is that this was supposed to be the Christmas Hollywood blockbuster that traditionally does really well.
God, it so sucks for them. It turned out so bad.
Well,
I mean, is it also understood that it used to be, I think, that the Hollywood blockbuster used to be the summer blockbuster, and they'd have one, maybe two, like really big budget movies in the summer. And the rest were, like normal budget movies, sort of thing. It seems to be now that every production executive is chasing that $1 billion movie that's going to kick off the $1 billion franchise. And not every film needs to be that, but they're all losing shed loads of money. It seems to me that they either make $2 billion or they make nothing. And what was it that was it the second biggest movie this year? Is that Inside Out 2, which nobody was expecting. The first one didn't pull up any trees particularly.
It was a big movie.
Yeah, I mean, but not like the second one.
No.
The second one was like, is it the second highest grossing animated movie of all time or something silly?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that wouldn't have been made for, a lot of money. That's, that would have had a normal animation movie sort of budget, no big names in it, no thing. and quite a low expectation, or you know, would have had a realistic expectation. There's no big sort of like song in it that made, you know, there's no "Let It Snow" moment in there that, you know, like oh, someone set an alarm. It's time to
That's
take
me.
your meds.
Sorry, that was me.
Time to take your meds. So they must have been very pleasantly surprised that movie did as well as it did. And I'm just wondering, like, why? It seems that if it's a movie to take the kids to, people will still go to the cinema and take their kids.
Yeah.
But if they're just going on a Friday or Saturday night, they're not going. Date night at the cinema seems to have just gone. So people aren't watching the movies at the cinema that 10 years ago they were. When, you know, we went to see Iron Man and Star Wars and blah, blah. Or is it that the movies aren't as good?
Both. Well, the movies are still good, and technically, same thing. Like, you know, people are always like, "Oh, I'd love to have lived back in the 1400s and building my own cabin and all that." It's like, all right, you say that while you're typing on your phone, sitting next to a fireplace that's a gas-lit fire, not an actual fire. You didn't have to do anything for that. Sitting under AC, so on and so forth, whatever. It's kind of, I don't know. Monk brought up the mid-budget film up there again, and that's something we need to find our way back to, because if we don't, we're with that. We're complaining about something that we don't even have the will to make anymore outside of the small indie people are doing it all day. Like, I guess same, just to continue that example, is we live in the best time for films ever. There are more great movies being made right now than there ever have been. And I'm sure that's going to continue each year, so on and so forth. They're just not being seen anywhere. They're not being shown anywhere. Studios don't care about them, and they don't. If they don't care about them, they definitely aren't going to give them the goodwill to try to push them out there to do well, which is silly. Realistically, just because, well, you were saying that last thing a second ago, it made me think of A Man Called Otto. That was one that, okay, Tom Hanks.
Very good.
People were still kind of pissed off at Tom Hanks. I'm not the biggest Tom Hanks fan anymore. Just the last couple of years, you know.
What did Tom Hanks do?
He's just been an interesting fella. He's been the most polarizing Tom Hanks has ever been in the last couple of years. But, and so on and so forth. He's still kind of America's dad and proves that, you know.
I remember he got COVID in Australia. That was controversial because no one believed he had COVID because we're Americans. What? Yeah. I mean, what? Seriously, what? Has he done something that I missed? I mean, remember, you know, I don't.
He was extra political for a few years during all that. That whole situation, him being the first one, politicized him a lot. And you know, when Hollywood actors get political, they lose a big base.
God, man.
They lose half their base either way, don't they? Immediately. So,
always, yeah. Either way, doesn't matter. Yeah, I was trying to avoid that. That's not something we should focus on. We're focusing on like the actual film aspect of it all. But you know, I'm
not sure, and this is going to be controversial, maybe, but I'm not sure movies are as good at the moment as they used to be. But I'll clarify that to say the blockbusters definitely aren't. We used to get proper Hollywood blockbusters. I'm thinking like Independence Day, you know, like the Star Wars movies, even The Matrix, Predator, Die Hard, all these movies. It seems to me that we get occasionally we get truly great movies. I think the last truly great Hollywood blockbuster movie, and maybe if you ignore the Marvel movies, because I actually think Endgame and that were properly brilliant, is probably Avatar. That was like really like everybody went to see it, and I mean the first Avatar sort of thing. Everybody went to see it. It's all anyone was talking about for a few weeks, and you know, and it was like, and obviously the Marvels. When was the last time there was a truly huge movie that I could think everybody went to see?
Well, I want to step up and open my mouth. Is it so? The question for me is it that we haven't had great movies in a while, or we haven't had great comic books in a while? Because the movies that you ticked off, with the exception of Avatar, all came from comic books. Maybe
And
we
then
have
haven't got any new source material sort of thing.
Exactly. So again, we're going back to the writing that we talk about forever. It seems like every episode. And I'm just wondering, well, is it really the great movies, or are we just there's something lacking in the comic book shop? Have they become too commercialized in their stories?
Well, they're not really interested in. I don't think we've actually seen any comic books actually adapted in a long time.
Last thing I can remember is like, Walking Dead. That had a really big audience that was adapted and did well.
Even then, and Invincible, Robert Kirkman doing more Invincible and The Boys and stuff like that, of course. But like, even with that, it's not like I guess they're I don't know. I kind of lost my thought there. It's just not.
The cat in the background stole your thought. That cat in the window stole your.
I literally saw it in my thought was right on my head.
Your brain power just went to shit when that cat came around, and it's true.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, here's another point though.
Sure.
That somebody just said, Peter just said that social media has diluted everything, and I 100% agree. And the problem is we're such a short, or one of the problems I think is we've got such a short attention span, and then we're guilty of this because.
Did you say something? I totally stopped listening. What'd you say?
And we're guilty of this because we do it on this channel that we desperately try to find out what's going on behind the Iron Curtain, and if we can get a sneaky this is happening. But there are things I know about what was planned for the Stargate movie that I've never talked about. One, because I'm not allowed to, but two, it would just ruin things, and I don't want to. If they ever made it, which they're not, I probably should do a video about it next. I'm not going to make it, but anyway, because I'm thinking I don't. And there's times I've been offered information. I'm like, I don't know, because I don't want to ruin it. But that's not very often. That's to be something I'm really excited about. But we have through social media and stuff, though, we're all desperately looking for the leaks, the on-set photos and stuff. But not just that, the advertisements are getting ridiculous. The trailers are getting ridiculous. Wolverine and Deadpool, you barely had to watch the movie by the time you'd watched the 5th and 6th second trailer. And I remember recently I watched the trailer that was released for Star Trek First Contact. And because there was a new Enterprise, the trailer had cuts from the old the Enterprise D. They didn't show the new Enterprise in the trailer. So then when you're at the cinema, and obviously because of social media and stuff, nobody had seen it. And we almost went, there was an audible gasp in the cinema when the Enterprise E appeared for the first time. Right? And they have that long sweeping shot, that they do in movies when they're revealing something you're not supposed to know about. The problem is we always know now. We always know. They can't hide anything. We all knew about Henry Cavill in Wolverine months ago, that he was going to be one of the Wolverines in a cameo. We all knew that Chris Evans was in it, and that he was going to be that he wasn't Captain America, that he was going to be the Fox character. We all knew because it had leaked, but also because of the bloody trailers. They shoot themselves in the foot. You almost don't have to watch the movie.
I know it's controversial, especially since I run my mouth on here every weekend, but I don't watch trailers. I don't read other people's opinions or ideas about it. I want to see it as the filmmakers and the writers and the actors put it together. And I will look at a movie poster just to see who's in it, if I like the director or whatever, or if I have some passing familiarity like Dune. Of course, I want to watch that, but I'm not going to read anything about it. And so far in my life, and I think I've told this story before, it shot me in the foot one time because I was at a screening for Bottle Shock, and a little guy named Chris Pine was in Bottle Shock, and I had no idea who the fuck he was. I thought it was some hippie role in a wine movie in Napa, but no, he was Captain Kirk, and everybody and his brother knew that he was Captain Kirk except me, and we had a really good half-hour chat about Napa Valley wine and shooting Bottle Shock. So one time
He probably adored because he's probably sick to death of hearing.
he's
questions
probably got
about
an
it.
8x10 on his desk or something of my picture.
With your hat?
No, I didn't have a hat. I think I was just, I had Merlot. I think it was the San Francisco Cinema Society at the the Sundance Kabuki Theater, downtown San Francisco in Japantown, and it was just, I had no idea. But I never know what I'm going to go see in a movie, so I ignore all this purposely. But that's the one time it just shot me in the head. Had no idea, and I'm an idiot for not knowing.
I'm choosing to believe that after that night, he was Cyworks' biggest fan and has followed you everywhere. And Chris Pine's comment section.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, he was your first subscriber. Probably.
No.
Not.
But
What do you guys think about that, though? Do you think the trailers do ruin movies for us?
Well, I mean,
particularly the Hollywood blockbusters.
I think so. I mean, for like Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I think everybody already knew the story if you'd read the comic books. I mean, I got my cousin Dean, total comic book nerd. So even before Marvel Studios was a thing for Disney, he made sure I knew the entire plot of the whole thing, and
Yeah.
But even though I knew what was going on because I'd read the comics, it was still a great movie, and then a lot of things that surprised me. But yeah, I will agree that the trailers, you see them over and over and over, and then you see some of the news blips, and then you see trailer version 2, and then trailer version 3 that only appeared at the screenings of another movie. And all of a sudden, yeah, you're right. You know the plot of the movie before you've seen it because you've seen half a dozen trailers.
Well, okay. I'd say yes and no and yes. Because, like, obviously nowadays, trailers just want to show you.
Wait.
What?
Give me a minute and a half.
No.
As in, nowadays, trailers kind of suck because they just want to show us what's going on everywhere. Where 10, 15 years ago, and every trailer before that, not every trailer, some trailers give you a little more than necessary, but they were the teaser trailer, I feel like, is the best trailer now. Because now we get 2 to 3 trailers, a teaser trailer, and about 4 to 5 to maybe 6, 7 TV spots. And the trailers, I feel like 2 to 3 trailers is okay. You can kind of plan for that in production. You know that you really don't want to show more than your first act. Maybe like a snippet of someone bloody after they've been doing something cool in the first act. Like, hey, I'm jogging, and then big ol' axe real quick or something like that. And it's like, oh, well, how the hell are we going to get there? Tease it just a little bit. It's just not doing that anymore. There's not teasing. It says, okay, this is what you got. And with that teaser spot, with those trailers, now with that 24/7 just social media presence like we were talking about, the attention span's not there. Okay, well, we got that last week. What are we going to get this week? Okay, well, we only have 4 or 5 surprises in this movie for you. And first of all, movies feel like they need to add surprises in them now, which is diluting the quality of all of our film because trailers need to have something new to show everybody all the time. And I get it from a business perspective. You want to promote everybody to get into your seats. Trailers have one purpose: buns on seats. 1,000%.
Yeah, and so I put in the chat in our StreamYard chat this link. This link is to the first Alien movie trailer from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nothing, but it was terrifying to watch. And it was super simple. Didn't really give the movie away. Didn't even show the stars, who was in it, who wrote it, who directed. It had nothing. And I don't know if you can show it here in the chat or not, but it was the first.
You sent this stream. I think you just
in the
clicked
private
on
chat.
Yeah. The link you sent is the link.
Hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute. I'm doing copy and pasting for Windows, and I'm on Mac. Hang on one second.
They're everywhere.
God damn it, fuck. Hang on a second.
But
what I think would fix this, though, while we're doing that?
Huh.
Give the director final shout on the trailer.
Please.
Don't let it be a PR company. Let the director say, no, actually, that's
Here
a
we
big
go.
reveal.
Sorry about
How
that.
many times do you get a reveal in the trailer, so we know something's in the trailer. But then in the movie, there is that big, like the actor sort of turning around. Dun, you get that scene, and it's like a 3 or 4 second hold. They're like, it's him. And I'm like, we already know because we saw him in the trailer. And the director might go, you know what? If you're going to just like tell everyone in the fucking trailer, I won't do the big reveal thing. Do you know what I mean? So the director should go, no. That's a big reveal thing. Get it out of the fucking trailer.
It just feels like they're pulling the rug out from under their own feet sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right. Can you play the Alien trailer or not?
Yeah. So that was the correct link. Sorry, I was copy pasting on. Thought I was copy and pasting on Windows, but I'm really on a Mac, and so it's completely different. I don't know what I was doing.
Should we play it with audio?
I think it's playing with audio.
Well, I know, but should we do that for copyright aspects of stuff?
Yeah, well, it might not. As long as there's no music, it'll be fine.
I mean, I hear the.
I guess we could mute it. Do y'all care if it's muted? It does lessen the effect of it.
I hadn't realized this is very reminiscent of the new Alien Earth trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, very. Holly's the best. That's why
an Easter egg movie. Oh, that's nice.
Happy Easter.
So little bits in the movie, but it's all stuff from the first 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess that's really what
these are most points.
This is the very first one that came out in the theaters was just the egg, and it doesn't pan up to show you action from the film. It was just, and then extra. In space, and then in space, no one can hear you scream.
It is nearly 50 years ago, and
shut up! Who said it was 50? Peter, I don't want to hear anything from you again. Almost 50 years ago, jerk.
But that goes to the point: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm sorry, Peter. I'm turning 62 next year, and it's not comfortable.
I think you're turning 22. In your heart.
Yeah, you suck up. I love you to death.
60 is the new 70.
I'm not sucking up. You're the only person who can out-talk me some days. I think you're 22 at heart and soul all day.
That's just because I've got longevity pushing me down down the hill. I got all that momentum going. Oh, young man.
Juggernaut. Once you get going, can't stop.
See, there you go.
My niece spent 2 or 3 minutes yesterday trying to figure out what year I turned 50, and it's sooner than I'd like. You were born in 1978. Yes.
Oh, kids.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, that's great.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I'm a little bit miffed too.
Fucking 50.
I don't think we're the target demographic for these next two films.
Were we the target demographic for any of these?
The other ones, kind of.
Oh, well, I don't. Okay, yeah, probably for you, but not for me. I mean, there's no old age homes, there's no Medicare scare, nothing like that.
So far, the films have been SciFi, Ghostbusters, Arthur the King, like a family movie, a Coen Brothers film, and a superhero film. Not so superhero-y.
Yeah.
But the next two, on the first half of the year's biggest flops, at least, was The Book of Clarence. Do y'all remember this one? It was Jesus-y, but not modern Jesus. Not modern Jesus. Kind of a modern take on a Jesus thing, if I remember correctly.
Never heard of it. I hadn't even heard up to the point to blog it. I mean, the book
to review.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So we got Black Jesus, which is a positive.
Yeah, it's well done historically, et cetera, et cetera. Lakeith Stanfield, freaking great. I can never pronounce his
What
name.
has he been? Was he in like some sort of was he in a military show?
The Life of Brian is the only Jesus movie we ever need.
That's a great one.
That and Dogma, which we're getting a second one of.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, baby. And it'll be terrible because Kevin Smith hasn't done a good film for 20 years. But Dogma is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Did y'all remember this one? I also don't think we are the target demographic here, but
you can't say that title.
How the hell did that even? That's the worst. Oh my god! Is this a Rush Limbaugh
Harris,
thing?
you're from Texas. You cannot say that title.
Oh no, I'm not going to. But I'm saying this was this had promise. It looked like a really cool kind of idea. It was like, all right, let's do like a Black Harry Potter kind of world, but modern day American, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so you may be too young for this, Harris, but back in the day, before Barack Obama while he was running for president, Rush Limbaugh hired a composer and a songwriter to write this song, and I hope this title doesn't get anybody banned, but it was this song that he played on Rush Limbaugh played on his radio show all the time, and it was titled Barack the Magic Negro. And it was the most racist piece of shit you had ever heard. And every time from noon to 3 on the East Coast, you turn on any AM radio station, you heard this fucking song. And so you're telling me this has nothing to do with Rush Limbaugh or that horrible song, but this was like Harry Potter in, I don't know, Mississippi? What is it?
This was made with, you know what, I remember the reviews coming out because I did debate going to see it, and it was one of the worst reviewed films of the year. I think it might actually have about the same review rate as just Craven does. Because it was like, okay, let's do something interesting and cool. Good concept. But it was something if I remember the reviews correctly, people were just saying, okay, so you're just gonna like put us on a title and parade us around kind of deal. And
yeah, I wouldn't go see it just because of the title. I mean, I'm probably the only one here that remembers colored only water fountains and whites only water fountains. I remember those being a thing. And so whoever the producer was really just, I am sure that if the story was decent, somebody could have come up with a better title, because that is just fucking horrible.
Yeah, let's move on.
Just
race. I miss race.
God almighty.
Well, that's the thing. That wasn't like, that was it's a black made film kind of deal that just was like, oh, come on. Like it was just, I don't know. Nobody has to finger on the pulse anymore.
That was wow.
Because that's just the title alone. We could just go on it real quick. Movie not good. It's not going to attract your general audience. But if you're going to piss people off immediately, instead of like if you're going to piss people off with a title like that, you want them in your seats, and you want to make sure that you have them leaving those seats feeling some way afterwards, and not like
for me, I have too much respect for the plight of Black Americans and what they have gone through and what I have witnessed them going through to even consider going to a movie like that. Just the title alone, just fuck off. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm off my soapbox.
No. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't know who the marketing team was behind that, but they weren't smart.
Not thought through.
Say that. But continuing, that was the first half of the year. This will have a bit of the second half, and this is overall year, but it does include more of the second half. Of course, Madam Web and a couple others might pop up. But do y'all remember M. Night Shyamalan's Trap?
I fancied the look of this. I never got around to watching it at the cinema, but I will watch it.
Yeah, I remember it, but
I thought it sounded quite clever.
It had a really good first two acts. Josh Hartnett is back as this. He's a really good actor in those first two, and then the third act, I don't know what happens with anything. It's really easy, and I hate to say it because I guess she's not a child, so she's just playing 18 or younger. But M. Night Shyamalan's frickin' daughter, once again, we've talked about James Gunn casting his brother and wife and everything. M. Night, why are you putting your daughter in the entire third act of the movie and making her the lead in the third act when she was not anything besides just a background singer? on stage for the first two. Not a good enough actress to do that, or send her to 3 or 4, 6, 12 months of acting camps and boot camps and training before you do it. But yeah, it just was one of those movies that, once again, was a bit of a wet fart.
I've rolled my towel up and it looks a bit like a penis.
I was thinking more of a spaceship, but I guess.
A droopy penis. If I did that, it's a spaceship because I could put the wings out.
Yeah.
Like that penis.
Essentially. Monk, essentially. It was one of those things where, like, okay, it was for the mass appeal, it was marketed that, hey, Josh Hartnett is back. If you're really thinking about it the way that M. Night was making it, it was okay, let me cast my daughter in this role real quick.
I thought it looked really good. I will watch it when it comes out, but Midnight Shyamalan has got a habit of making the third act of movies confusing. Yeah. So let's see what happens.
It's not confusing. It gets dumb. if that helps.
Oh, does it?
But it's not like so dumb that it will take you out of it. It's just like, sorry.
Well, it's going to have to be on Netflix or something next. I won't be paying to watch it then. Okay.
Yeah, no, I believe it's already out somewhere, but it's not telling us. Warner Brothers, so it should be out on Max somewhere.
Yeah, we haven't got that in this country. So that'll be on Sky Cinema then, which I haven't got at the moment. But
I've actually seen. I've actually seen this.
Greg Berlanti's directorial debut in a cinema, at least. Fly Me to the Moon. Did y'all see it? Do y'all remember it? Did you like it?
I liked it. You know, it wasn't most of these, you know, when you talk about, you know, movies from the Apollo era, they're typically real hardcore, you know, science and hardware and drama. This was kind of like a romantic comedy, and I liked it for that. You know, the Apollo program was the background, you know, but I thought this was a really good kind of romantic comedy. And it was on. I thought it was on Apple TV. I thought I saw it on Apple TV.
It's an Apple TV movie, isn't it? Yeah, it will be an Apple TV movie. I liked it. Like you said, I thought it was a bit of a rom-com. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek. Scarlett Johansson is an amazing actress, and I love her very much. And my wife liked Channing Tatum, so she was happy.
This is one I hope.
Off, which annoyed her, but other than that,
it was a good film. I was really hoping that the Deadpool Wolverine movie with Channing Tatum in there would get a few more eyes on it, and I'm sure it has to a degree, but it just didn't hit that zeitgeist you wanted it to. I mean, the guy that was behind the Arrowverse, not the biggest thing in the world, but it has a huge following. You think could attract maybe a couple more eyes. It was just kind of a sad. This is one of those flops that was like, oh, well, I wish that one would have done better.
Yeah, and it wasn't a cheap movie to make either, was it? But Apple can afford it, so.
It was one of those things where, like, oh, well, that shouldn't have flopped. Where most of the things we have talked about have kind of been, okay, writing was on the wall, you know?
Now, the worldwide gross, that is just cinema seat sales, not streaming sales or anything like that.
Well, that's the other thing. And we're going to talk about Red One in a bit, aren't we? When a movie like this is made for a streaming provider, how bothered by cinema seats really are they? But we'll come back to that in a bit.
Yeah, Apple's weird because they're losing a lot of money. They have to start doing it more. They have to change their focus, which is interesting, which is good. I'm wanting to see their things more in theaters. Give us a bigger push. Napoleon, Fly Me to the Moon, Killers of the Flower Moon,
Greyhound.
None of them are making money. They're really just not. They're all good films.
Hanks.
That was another one that he was good lately. He was in 1883 for a little bit too, I think.
He what general was he? He played I think was it a Union general?
And he wasn't Ulysses S. Grant, was he?
I don't know.
It was something like that.
Let me get a look.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't tell us the budget in this article. The other article was the better with the budgets and everything like that. But speaking of a little Western-y kind of thing,
yeah,
this one lost a lot of money.
And it's only part 1 of 4, isn't it?
Well, 1 of 2, because they're not going to be able to make 3 and 4 at this rate, which sucks because, hey, our buddy old Colin Cunningham is in there, and I would have loved to have seen him get more stuff with Kevin Costner. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But hell,
no.
Yeah, no, they're going to release part 2, Monk. They were planning to do which I think if you do it right and you can get the zeitgeist around your film is a great plan. Kevin Costner just couldn't get the zeitgeist around his film. And most of that was because he had that very public feud with Taylor Sheridan going on at the time and all the Yellowstone stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And people chose Yellowstone and Taylor Sheridan. They said, Costner, you're great, but you're not writing any of this. You're making a whole lot of money, and you are producing, but you're not putting your own money into Yellowstone, and it's great. You're putting your money into this. And what? This is Waterworld in Utah now?
So Tom Hanks's character in 1883 was General George Meade. General George Meade.
Okay.
Meade. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked on that. I knew it wasn't Grant, but I didn't know.
It didn't sound right. Because he was one of the few legitimate historic figures in the show, which was kind of gave it a little not levity, but chutzpah. I don't know. Last ever Yellowstone tomorrow. Last ever Yellowstone. I guess tomorrow for y'all. It is tonight as well for us. I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, I've got some suggestions later on in the show.
Yeah, and you could just watch the many spin-offs we're going to be getting.
This is true.
Many.
The bad thing is I'm already all caught up on those. But there are literally 3 other Taylor Sheridan shows I need to catch up with right now, including Lioness that Stormy was talking about earlier that I just been kicking myself to catch up with.
Excellent.
So
somebody mentioned last week, didn't we, that if you get if Taylor Sheridan wrote a sci-fi, we'd get a remake of Firefly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay. At the rate he pumps things out, can we just sell Stargate to Paramount and give it to Taylor Sheridan, please? Come on.
If you turn on Paramount, Sheridan is everywhere.
Oh yeah. He is Paramount.
He will do Star Trek at some point.
I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I knew the guy was prolific, and I knew I read one article about him about how it was just he was so backed up, and he wanted another Yellowstone, and this is about the production of 1883, and how, oh my God, I'll get to it, fellas, because I've got these other 20 things I'm doing for Paramount. But every show that I've watched that he has been writing and producing, I'm addicted to. Every single one. I mean, there's not one that I'm not addicted to. And that he has to be a clever chap for me to be addicted to so much content. And it's all so kind of different. I mean, they're not common themes. They're not like Yellowstone's kind of a Western. 1883, definitely a Western. You know,
do kind of have the patriarchal theme of it, and that's about it. That's about it. Because they just take. I mean, I guess everything's done a little bit Western or neo-Western in a sense. Yeah. Tulsa King's a little neo-Western, but
yeah. But I would agree with that. But Lioness is a different
completely. No. Well, and it has. I guess it's not matriarchal in that sense. She takes over that role, and that's a matriarchal show in a big way because it is Zoe Saldana.
Because I mean, all of the characters with strength are all women.
Yeah.
You have Nicole Kidman, not a slouch. I mean, and she's the queen of the whole thing. And Zoe Saldana, and I can't remember the name of the other woman, the actual INS that was at least in season 1. Amazing job.
She's still in season 2?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't got to the episode where she would show up. I'm only on episode 1, season 2, so give me a break.
I haven't even started. So.
I watched season 2. Season 1, I started on Friday and finished it yesterday. Because, I mean, I was hooked. Dude, got to see the next one. Got to see the next one, and I'm texting people saying, dude, I got to go to bed. I mean, well, what time is it? It's like 1 o'clock my time, and Heather's off, so dude, it's like 3 o'clock.
I'm just watching. Literally. When y'all remember my old Italian neighbor when she moved to Italy, then moved back to the States. She lived with me for I think 2 or 3 months, and we just caught up on everything Taylor Sheridan. The only thing I have left are the new things and the new seasons, Landman, and then I haven't watched Mary Kingstown yet. I want to so bad. All of it's so freaking good.
Oh, yeah, that's another great one. I mean, Kingstown was. I mean, it was a brilliantly written, great acting. I mean, it was.
And I love Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's always
he's always good.
Which Monk mentioned, Wind River with Taylor Sheridan. So good. If y'all haven't seen that, Elizabeth Olsen, there we go, Olsen, Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye in that movie essentially, and it's about a native reservation and like FBI people having to come in and do some stuff, and it is a great film. Sad as all get out, but really good. But I guess just to kind of rope up this part of it, we brought up Horizon and American Saga, and what did we immediately start talking about?
Yellowstone,
Taylor Sheridan, and that's why it didn't make any money. Kevin Costner is no longer Kevin Costner.
Sheridan knows how to just suck the money, just suck the wind right out of everybody's throat. Because
Costner's been where, of course, you know, the coast. There's coastal America and middle America, and you know there are different shows oriented to each thing. Middle America always has like a show that's just as big as everywhere else. That you know, there's always like your big HBO shows that everyone's watching. But then, like sitcom wise, you've got Last Man Standing. You know, old Tim Allen, that's been like number 1 or number 2, teetering back and forth for 8-10 years. You've got Yellowstone on that kind of area as well. It just Kevin Costner doesn't have the name brand he did. He's been in charge of Middle America in the dramatic sense. There's been Tim Allen in your sitcoms, and in the dramatic sense, your Middle America guy has been Kevin Costner again for the last 10 years.
Dancing with Wolves and Yellowstone. I mean, and those were big, epic stories, you know. And like you said, a lot of the excuse me, America has a lot of regional culture. You know, I mean, Harris, you know, we're in the Southwest, even though you're in Southern California, but you know, you're from Texas, and you know about Arizona. You know the culture of New Mexico.
Some of my favorite.
Yeah, and I mean, the American West is gorgeous. You know, I mean, I took a tour of Southern Utah last summer, and yeah, it's just breathtaking. So we do have a rich culture in cinema, but it's just like Costner likes, you know, the Western, you know, even though different time periods, definitely he has success in Yellowstone, which is definitely a Western America thing, you know, and Dances with Wolves, which is definitely a American West story.
All right. Just real quick, is Resident Alien based near there? Sorry, my geography of USA doesn't exist. Resident Alien's Michigan, right?
I think
northern.
Yeah, so where this
Great Lakes, someplace.
I believe it's. I think it's Great Lakes.
They talk about going over to Canada, don't they, to get drunk and stuff all the time.
Is it Wisconsin, maybe?
Not sure, but it's definitely up in the north because it snows all year round as well, isn't it, in the show?
Are the Utah's literally smack dab in the middle of the U.S., and whether it's Wisconsin or Michigan, where Resident Alien is, it's just a little northeast. So probably backwards for a camera. So if you're looking at it from here, it'd probably be right there kind of deal. Or not. Yeah,
the girls are always going on about how when they were kids, they crossed over to Canada to go get drunk and stuff. So you know somewhere.
So that would not be Arizona.
But just thinking of the flop aspect of this again, is this?
Oh yeah, back to this. Yeah. Back to this. Sorry.
Is this another Waterworld? I mean, this is literally just modern Waterworld.
I mean, I never heard of. Oh wait. I apologize. I saw this chapter 1, and I'm going to shit all over it. I remember this now, and it was so horrible. It was one. It's just a movie. It was so horrible. I had to watch it in 2 parts because I couldn't stand it. And it was disjointed, badly written. The acting was mediocre. The direction was just somebody on acid. I hated every bit of it. Horizon and American Saga made no sense to me whatsoever. What in the hell Kevin Costner was thinking about this? I mean, I hated it so much I didn't even recognize the title until I saw chapter 1, and it was dude. It was all around bad. There was no bringing this back for any kind of redemption. Sorry, that was hard.
Hey! People on acid can make better movies than that. I think. Pretty sure.
I know. So
imagine
all the
People
weight
on acid
that went into making this.
Yeah. Anybody on acid should be making kids' TV, mate. That's what.
There's
Dumbo
Peyote that died
like
for no reason.
We have a rich history in this country of kids' television written by people on acid.
Oh yeah. Dumbo's that is just those old Disney movies, stuff like that. Oh.
Well, for the Brits, we've got the Moomins, Button Moon, In the Night Garden. That's definitely written by somebody who's very, very high on drugs. Yeah, no. We've got a rich history of stoned and high people making kids television in this country. And we love it. Why not?
Yeah, David B, just go ahead and kill some brain cells.
But literally what you're saying, Stormy, this movie, the one consensus that everyone was saying right after was, why was this not a miniseries? It was set up to be a miniseries or an elongated series itself. It was not set up to be a film. Like, it was just disjointed. It was too much all at once and not enough focus on any of it. It just wasn't what you expected it to be.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think the story would have benefited with perforation, between like segments or ideas, but I mean, it was just all over the place. It's once it ended, it's like, okay, what did I just see? Where was the story at? I couldn't pick it out.
The stories in the next movie, they were just setting up a little story. They were like, here.
How long was it? Wasn't it like?
It was a 3-hour movie. It was a 3-hour, 20-minute movie.
No, not for me.
No. Which, okay, Melvin, howdy, man, it's been too long. Don't get to see it as much as we used to. Why didn't they do a sequel for The Postman, or why don't they? I love The Postman. It's not the best movie ever. I love The Postman. Waterworld, once again, not the best movie ever. But you can go back and watch it and have a lot of joy out of it.
Yeah, Postman and Waterworld, I thought were good movies. I really did like The Postman.
I really like Postman.
Specifically because it had the element of human communication. People talking to each other, and bonding together in a community during really harsh times. I thought those themes were really resonated with me. But that was not Horizon. None of that.
Because both of those were huge flops as well, and they were kind of like projects that Kevin Costner was very pivotal and like pertinent about making. And they had good writing. Obviously, this guy's done Dances with Wolves.
Waterworld was good. It just cost too much to make. Waterworld's not a bad movie. He just got a lot of reputation because it was one of the first $100 million movies, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was so much. But this is not one of those that is going to be a giant flop of Costner's that ends up being this thing that we remember and herald as, okay, that's pretty cool. Because, hell, Waterworld is awesome. And even though it's not a bad movie, it is one of the biggest flops. And I don't care if it's one of the biggest flops, because you go to Universal Studios right now, you're still going to do the very first thing you're going to go to is their Waterworld exhibit. And it's the best thing you're going to see all day. Why wasn't that this here, I guess? Is it literally just Taylor Sheridan's taking over Kevin Costner's place?
Yeah, maybe.
In Hollywood, in a way?
He should have done a sequel for Criminal. That was a brilliant movie. Nobody watched it. Ryan Reynolds was in the start. Gal Gadot's in it. It's a fantastic film, and nobody watched it, but it was set up for a sequel. Just do that. Easy. Yeah. Anyway, what's the next movie on the list? Come on.
Instead, we'll get Horizon 2, but we'll see. Hey, Colin Cunningham will come in there and make the whole movie amazing. I'm just ready. But next up, I don't know if either of y'all saw this one. This is one that I actually really enjoyed. I would have changed just a little bit. I would have not made the main character Austin Butler. I would have made it the journalist that was walking around with them, but the bike riders. Do y'all remember this? Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I saw it. I just found it. Yeah, it was okay.
Never heard of it.
It's essentially
Wasn't blown
Sons of
away.
Anarchy light on a movie
Yeah.
screen.
Not for me.
It was good. I guess I just watched it after Mayans, and it was a nice little thing to keep that motorcycle kind of mentality going for a minute. But it's just nobody saw it. And once again, I believe it's an Apple TV.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Probably. It was. I guess it was fine. I just wish I hadn't gone to the cinema to watch it. I think was more the thing. Yeah, just Tom Hardy. I thought he looked cool. So, yeah, but no, it wasn't for me. Just not a cinema movie for me. A bit too slow, a bit too.
And the big thing that killed this was they were going to release it last year, and then they delayed it for the strikes. Then they delayed it after the strikes, and then they were like, "All right, we'll just toss it out." Because I guess at one point it was early in the year in 2024 as well. I believe it was like a January or February release, and they said, "All right, we'll try for summer." It just didn't go well. Monk, yes. Butler was miscast as the lead in American Psycho for Luca Guadagnino's new iteration of it.
Right. David, has just put their Field of Dreams book for cricket. No, I wouldn't, mate. Cricket is the stupidest, most boring game. I would actually rather watch baseball, and that's saying something.
I don't like baseball either.
It's a game that can last for 5 days and still ends in a draw. No, even I know that's stupid. No, thank you. I don't want it to be cricket. Field of Dreams, football, though, that'd do. Old Man United. Here we go, yeah. Old Man United players. If you kick the ball, they will come. I'd watch that.
That sounds like
Bobby
a fetish
Moore
to me. Kick your balls and you'll come. There's no question on this.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what I was saying when I said it.
We know, and that's why we're repulsed.
Yes. Field of Dreams with rounders, that's it. I'm not going to rant about the stupidity of American sports again.
What?
Been
Yes,
there,
you
done
can.
that.
Yes, you can. I believe in you, Jay. I know you can, bro.
Well, bike riders went far.
Back to bike riders, yeah.
Sadly, what's up, watchers? Oh, the horror movie. It took me a second to even realize what this was. Do y'all recognize it or remember it at all or anything at all?
I kind of it tickles something, but I don't think I've seen it. Excuse me.
I had to stare at it and read that it said horror film down there to remember what it was in general, and I still don't have much just besides the title, and it was a horror movie in my head outside of it.
I vaguely remember the trailer, but no, and this is another one I did not see. So move on.
Oh, that's right. This was M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's first film.
Oh, for the love of God.
The oldest daughter, and it was a Dakota Fanning. I vaguely remember that. It had a decent trailer, but I remember the reviews not being great. But do you know what was really bad in reviews?
This is the most. I've not seen this, and actually, even from the trailer, I know I don't want to. But I know somebody that played the game. I'm not a big gamer, never have been, because I've got a life and I'm grown up. So the somebody was telling me that the character, the red head in there, I've forgotten her name.
Cate Blanchett.
I was going to say Kate something. Cate Blanchett is supposed to be a young character.
Here,
something else to say.
I'll stop you there. Just to inform you real quick, not only is she supposed to be about a 19 to 23-year-old character, the entire cast is supposed to be about 19 to 25 years old. Kevin, I don't know what name I was saying. Kevin Hart is probably the oldest one because he's supposed to be semi-military. I haven't played the games either. I went with friends that knew the games and were very, very, very unhappy leading it.
Oh, yeah. He was pissed. And he was just like, why are they taking the piss out of a game I really like? And
they also combined 3 games into one movie. Which makes no sense.
Right. grown-ups. No, I'd say I shouldn't have said that because I am actually not a grown-up. I've just seen David B's comments. Grown-ups can play games. I'm not a grown-up. I don't have time to play. These games take hours. I don't have time. My life is full of other things. I've got an Oculus, and I use it for exercise, and because I box in it and stuff. And that I don't have time for that. I just don't have time for games. I never have done that. I've never. If I play a game for 4 or 5 hours, I'll play Football Manager games, and that's about it. But no, it's not. I'm not a grown up. We all know I'm not a grown up.
Don't have to tell us twice.
Yeah.
We know it when we see it because we see us in you.
Yes,
Ourselves
exactly.
in you.
But we all know I'm not a grown up.
I can't wait to get back
Same
on
way
the
where Stormy said 62 earlier, and we corrected him and put a 2 in front of instead of the 6. You know, it's
yeah, exactly.
We know where we're at.
But
Our
yeah,
souls
this
are
was the only thing about Borderlands is I'm surprised it didn't lose more money.
honestly,
Mm.
and just and you know, it's not about the flop. A little bit of a caveat here, but the one thing that terrifies me about Borderlands more than anything is Mass Effect. Because now Avi Arad, the guy that does all the Spider-Man movies and a bunch of video game movies that haven't done well, did this one and decided to put 3. It's a trilogy, the big old famous trilogy of games that they made into one movie. Hey, big sci-fi trilogy of games that is heralded as one of the best gaming trilogies of all time, or sci-fi stories of all time. Mass Effect. Let's just all put it into one movie real quick. No. I'm gonna die if that happens.
I'm worried about Avi Arad making anything, to be honest. But
honestly,
no, this is a film that not only, and I completely understand, and you shouldn't base your opinion to watch a movie or not reading on the trailer. But just from the trailer, I'm watching it going, I know I've seen this movie before. It's going to be full of loads of stupid jokes that I don't think is going to be funny. And yeah, I just know it's going to be shite. So no, I'm not watching it. I will watch it again when it turns up on Netflix, and I've literally got nothing else to watch. And I like Kevin Hart.
Well, you know what would be better than that at this point is just find some acid and go wander around in the woods or something. Like, it's better than this movie.
Watch this on acid. That's the way.
That was where my brain went initially, and I don't put yourself on a bad trip.
Balls.
Isn't that the third reference to hallucinogens on this show? In this episode, is 3 times, haven't we? The 3 we've mentioned peyote and true.
It's got to be done.
That's a sign. We need to have a sidetrack retreat in the middle of Argentina or something now.
Redwood
so we can drag the ayahuasca.
Giant owl.
There we go. Okay, Borderlands. Maybe one of the worst things we've ever seen. Well, not just this year, just in general. But next, we have maybe the one thing that actually beats out Borderlands for being god awful. I didn't even see this one.
I forced myself to watch this, but only because I have a friend who worked on it. So I went to watch it. And even though they told me it's awful, and they said, this was, he actually told me while they were making it, they knew all the crew were sort of like, this is bad, and they all knew, and what they said was, it was basically from casting on was just wrong, and they got everything wrong in this movie, the story, casting. And then they made it and they tried to do it in sort of the style of the original Crow movie and in the comic books or the graphic novels, I should say. And they said it's just everything was wrong.
Bill Skarsgård's awesome too. He's a great actor, but if you can't say something,
he's just wrong for this. He's just wrong for this.
Yeah.
And it's just everything was wrong. And so I watched it. And then I texted my friend and basically said, everything you said was 100% right. That was bloody awful.
Yeah, I didn't see the. I mean, I heard of it. I did not see it on purpose. I think I've told this story earlier in some of the previous episodes, maybe about a year ago. I had a little sci-fi production company or special effects company in North Carolina back in the day, and I knew Brandon Lee, and we'd play pool. Me and some of the other cast would and other people that were going to do this movie. We play pool down in Wrightsville Beach, and I knew Brandon Lee, and I didn't get the contract, and I was shooting another movie up in Raleigh at the time when Brandon Lee was killed.
Yeah.
And and as soon as I ever get all of my shit in one house, I'll show it to you. I've got one of the original graphic novel of The Crow, signed by James O'Barr, saying, I really, to me, he said, Stormy, we all still miss it. And the subsequent sequels that was to The Crow did not do Brandon Lee's stellar performance in the original any justice. The TV show, I mean, it was good, but I still, that the performance that Brandon Lee did for the original Crow was just amazing. It's like, he did all this great work and then he's dead. And it reminded me, like, Heath Ledger did all this great work as Joker, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
And both of those deaths, absolutely senseless. And so I didn't see it. I don't know what the quality of the movie was, but, Brandon Lee was King, Mo, D, and what a horrible tragedy that whole thing was.
He was about to become an
A-list
star.
Oh, he was, I mean,
Heath Ledger, like you mentioned, he was about to go astronaut.
He was going to transcend, man, into something else, and it was so goddamn sad.
Yeah.
Literally,
at least they
those
cast
roles
the series better.
And he couldn't place pool to save his life. Just
yeah.
Well,
but no, conceptually, this film was wrong.
Yeah.
They both think that's like I said. This guy that my friend who worked, like, he just basically said when they got the script, they were just like, really? And so like, okay, we'll do it. You're paying us, but everybody knew that. Everybody was like whispering on set about it. This is just bad, and they knew when they're making it. They knew it was bad.
With that thought process, would this have been another good David Zaslav's axe? Would this be another good situation of, hey, maybe just take the freaking tax cut at this point?
Shouldn't have made it in the first place, man.
Probably so. But I'm biased. I mean, just don't ask me for a biased opinion on this. For an unbiased opinion.
And even if you have a complete and utter shite script and the process, the whole pre-production process has been pretty bad, you got Bill Skarsgård. Obviously, you want someone that you've cast that has probably gone through auditions, and I doubt he had to go through any auditions to get someone like this. They were like, "Oh, you did Pennywise, you'll be good." But once again, typically that would be fine. But you can have the best actor in the world, but if you have that bad of a script, you can't save it. And hopefully, in 10 days, we see this man dressed up not exactly like that, but similarly enough as Nosferatu, because that's going to be great.
That should be good. I think that's going to bomb.
Really? Robert Eggers? Oh, Northman didn't make a whole bunch of money.
I think it'll do really well on streaming. I don't think it'll do well at the cinema, but I think it'll do really well in the awards. I think the awards ceremonies and things. I think it might even win a couple Oscars and things. But I don't think it'll do very well at the end. That's a movie buffs movie, if that makes sense.
It does.
So we'll see. But
it might be a big enough name. Can I get a link for this list? This is Collider's top 10 biggest flops of the year. I just Googled that and it was there. But yeah, no, I can see what you're saying there. Just with that thought as well, though, whether it flops or not, we were talking about the biggest blockbuster, I guess, for Christmas time, because there's always a holiday. There's summer, there's holidays, so on and so forth. It's not seeming like Kraven the Hunter is going to take that spot up.
No. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, sorry. I was go for it.
Interrupt him.
I was just going to say that I was looking at other big lists. 10 biggest flops of 2024. From Reddit. What was it? What was the other one? Fandom Wire and a bunch of others. they're all kind of in agreement on what sucks this year. You know, there wasn't a lot of variations. You know, and they were all the critics said, "Oh yeah, were very united," which I thought was unusual about the stuff.
Rarity.
Did you find that also, Harrison, to be true?
1,000%. It's everywhere. It's a rarity when it happens, but they're not happy about multiple films. And hey, it's what happens whenever you have the term FLOPBUSTer coined this year. Like,
what was it coined this year? Well, I wonder why.
So many things from starting off with Madam Web in the beginning of the year, and just I feel like there's been one big flop a month in a way. Like to Jay's point earlier, not every movie needs to make $1 billion frickin' dollars. And everybody thinks, oh, well, if I have this month, this could be my $1 billion month.
Yeah, Joker 2. The Joker 2, Secular Monks just come up with that. Again, a movie that absolutely got panned and lost a crap load of money. It really has been a bit of a shit year, really.
The only thing about that is it's not a true flop. It made just enough money to not be considered a flop.
Yeah, just in time to break even.
Story-wise.
God, it was awful. But I wanted to talk about Red One, the Rock movie. That obviously that again bombed.
Did y'all see that one yet?
I really liked it. For
Really?
what it is.
Okay.
For what it is. Don't get me wrong. It's not winning any Golden Globes. But for what it is, a rock Santa movie, what really do you expect? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I might even watch it again. I'll watch it with my nephew. Because it is what it says on the tin. But Amazon released that in the middle of November. And I put a comment on the community page at the time. I've been told by somebody that is over Amazon, and they've said they don't care about the numbers because they knew it wasn't going to do great. They've actually considered the cinema release just basically to be an advert for the Amazon release.
Well, they were kind of weren't they relying on the whole flop narrative in a way? They were like, let's get as many eyes and articles on it, and it's going to hit your streaming service, and you'll just watch it next week, right?
Well, they just knew that a Christmas movie in the middle of November wasn't going to do very well, but they didn't care. Yeah. They almost did. The only thing I was surprised about was that they didn't put it behind a paywall for Christmas. I thought they'd have put it like as a tenner or something for Christmas, and they didn't. They just put it straight on Prime. Remind me to say something interesting about MGM Plus that I found out in the week.
I wish you tell us.
But yeah, so I think I might have told you last week actually. Did I say last week that it's looking at becoming MGM movies? Did I say that?
Maybe week before.
Going into Prime.
Yeah, so I'll tell you in a second anyway. It's only an option. I've been told it's a possibility, but anyway. Yeah, but Amazon knew it wasn't going to do very well in the cinema, and they didn't care. At the end of the day, I think somebody mentioned it earlier that cinema, how well a film does at cinema now isn't a gauge for how good a movie is. Totally. And I would say 100%. But also, and this guy told me, he says basically Amazon considered the cinema run to be an advert for the movie. So it was almost like a just to run through, just sort of like we made some money. They did make money, not a lot, but it was all about Amazon Prime. They didn't care about how much money they made at the cinema.
I wish they cared about how much they spent, because that's one of the most expensive. It is the most expensive movie that's ever been made. I think Red One is the singular most expensive movie that's ever been made. It was like a $270 million budget. Yeah.
Oh man, because Endgame and stuff like that costs way more. Sure.
Wasn't there something that was like $300 million before marketing in 2023?
And Barbie cost $300 million.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Google.
I mean, of course, every year they break the previous year's record. So I mean, you know.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang has been greenlit. Yeah, by Barbara Broccoli. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. No, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Sorry, Secular Monk's comment there. I don't think it'll affect Stargate. I'm doing a video where I'm talking about how MGM Plus and the future of MGM Plus because we mentioned it last week on the live, and then I had somebody message me to say it's I'd already heard whispers sort of thing. That's why we were talking about it, wasn't it? But apparently MGM Plus is at risk, but they won't get rid of MGM Plus because it's a subscription channel, whereas Freevee wasn't. So Freevee was easy to get rid of.
Okay.
Because there's no subscription. They did the trailer thing on Amazon. It worked better than it ever did on Freevee. So they could get rid of Freevee. They can't get rid of MGM Plus because it's a subscription service and they make money on it at the end of the day.
Won't you please, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Hi chitty low chitty, everywhere you go, chitty, you're my favorite friend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, my final favorite friend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, my very favorite friend.
I love that movie.
I'm guessing you're not talking about.
It's going to be the remake is going to be awful.
Dick Van Dyke's coming back, right?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What's that?
I said Dick Van Dyke's coming back, right?
He got it when he's still alive.
Can we have the Penguins? I love Dyke and the Penguins. That sounds like a rock band. Dyke and the Penguins.
Dyke and the Penguins.
Anyway.
A West Hollywood rock band.
Back to the
or some grunge out.
We go back to the exclusive news.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get off. Real quick before we get off. Red One was 250 million.
Red One.
But the number one most expensive film ever made was not Red One. It was way more than that. And a decent movie. Not the best of the series either. But it cost apparently $410.6 million to make Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
What?
Shit.
Holy.
Yeah, shit. Okay, and that did bomb, didn't it? That must have made money though, because that was still when cinema was popular. Wow. Anyway,
yeah,
MGM. So, the rumor I'm hearing is that what they're looking at is turning. So it'll be MGM Amazon Prime and MGM Amazon Prime Movies, and MGM Plus will basically become MGM Movies or Amazon Prime Movies. However they'll format it. And then basically they'll focus movies onto what is currently MGM Plus, and TV shows will focus on Prime. And that is apparently what they're currently looking at, to do something with MGM Plus. So MGM Plus it's plateaued and it's not growing anymore. There's no plan to increase the budget, so we won't. But I think that is possibly one of the reasons why we're looking at why Stargate again is being delayed. One, because they're looking at doing it with a partner, but also because they're not going to greenlight it for MGM Plus, which was the plan a year ago, because they won't be in MGM Plus, basically.
So yeah, and that was an hour 39. I just texted Chazz to take that out. Yeah, because that'll be cool. Because I mean, we've talked about it where MGM Plus just didn't make a whole bunch of sense a lot of times, especially with Freevee. They were trying to do the hub, and then everybody's doing bundles now, so a hub doesn't make as much sense necessarily unless you're offering the bundle. Is it going to be MGM Amazon Prime, or is it going to be MGM Prime?
It depends how they decide to do it, but I think it'll be basically Amazon MGM Prime, Amazon MGM Prime Movies, but then it'll just be called Prime and Prime Movies, won't it, basically? Because then no one will put Amazon MGM before it. It'll just be like nobody calls it Amazon Prime, they just call it Prime. But I think the advert will be Prime and Prime Movies, I suspect. Okay. But they haven't decided that. They haven't decided they're going to do it, as far as I know. But it's one thing they're looking at.
I could see them maybe trying to rebrand for MGM Prime, kind of like HBO Max, and no one likes just Max. People still call it HBO Max. You know, that might be like the old name and the new name kind of put together. Might be the way to do it.
Joey, Prime Plus, yeah, that's the way to do it.
And I wish somebody would fix the GUI for Max. I mean, it's like the worst experience trying to find something. Because it's just too much.
They've got great shows. It's just
got great shows, but trying to find something or go back to something you've been watching is just really difficult.
Okay, just real quick before we jump back into the second half of this list, and it's more. I think we've talked about a couple of them, so we'll go quickly on it.
I'm going in 5 minutes.
Okay. Is it weird that we briefed on it a minute ago? Is it weird that our only blockbuster in the holiday right now is that we thought was going to be big was Craven, or they were hoping was going to be big. No one thought it was going to be big. And now all we have is Moana 2, which is not very Christmassy. Nosferatu, which is not very Christmassy. And I guess Sonic, which is a little holiday, Christmassy. It can be.
Yeah.
But
I think Sonic and Moana 2 will blow. Oh, well, Moana 2's already blown up, hasn't it? It's already made like 40 million.
It's
400. It's like it's a lot of money so far.
Huge numbers.
It's the number one animated opening ever.
Really?
It just seems like people will take their kids to the cinema, but they won't go to watch a film that's. It just seems like adults go, "Oh, I'll wait for it streaming." But if their kids want to go, which is why Barbie exploded, because everyone was taking their little girls to go watch it.
The only true blockbusters that we've kind of mentioned earlier, and there have been a couple more than we mentioned, like Oppenheimer last year as well as Barbie. That was one that a bunch of people did end up seeing. Top Gun Maverick was the example that was kind of like, oh, yep, that cuts through the glass a little bit, but they're so far and few between.
Yeah.
Sorry, Oliver Lavery's comment is very good. I'm already looking forward to the sequel. Nosferatu.
Oh, he has a future in marketing. Oh my God, that was good. That was really good.
Dad joke.
That's great.
That's brilliant. That's a proper dad. I heard a great dad joke yesterday. Actually, it was why does Santa Claus have 3 gardens? One for each of his ho-ho-hos.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh.
I literally at a white elephant on Friday. The staying up real late the other day. Where'd it go? I won my present that I won was a thing called Dad Jokes. I don't know where I put it. I'll find it.
Because of content rules, I cannot show you what my white elephant present was.
No, we don't want to see that.
Yeah. As I said white elephant, I was like, oh, okay, bad topic.
Yeah, don't.
Stormy off of
That was a pre-stream conversation.
But back to this, The Exorcism. Did y'all see it? Did you remember it? Anything about it?
Didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
The 2023's The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe, which was good. But this just seemed like really another another Exorcist movie with Russell Crowe 6 months after the last one.
Yeah, and it wasn't a sequel either, was it? Because he's never done a sequel, is he? It is actually a separate movie, isn't it? It's
a separate movie. I don't think he's done a sequel.
He's never done a sequel. I don't think. So, I mean, it's like...
he's been in sequels, I guess, but not truly done his own, huh?
No. None of his... or no film he's been the major starring role of, he has then ever done a sequel for. And the only one he says... I saw him in interviews and he said the only one he would want to do is The Nice Guys. He would really like to do a sequel to The Nice Guys.
Come on, please.
Yeah.
And maybe make Shane Black write a good script again, which would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was kind of what this one was like. Yeah. But next up, do y'all remember this movie at all?
No.
Is it Susan Sarandon?
No, never heard of it.
Susan Sarandon, Nick Offerman's wife, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and Streisand, and oh my God, what's her name? It's gonna kill me, but great actress.
Streisand? Are you sure? That looks like Bette Midler to me. That's really Streisand?
Bette Midler, not Streisand. That's what I meant to say.
Don't make me go get my brain meds.
I need them after a couple of sleep I've had.
It was good seeing you again. Hope all stays well. Keep in touch.
Well, yeah, it's been really good. You know, the only reason I'm really going is because I need a wee. But my eyes are getting a bit tired, so
okay.
I don't want to risk.
Love.
Hey, I love you. That much.
You,
love you. See you later.
So
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, so sign for the next 3 hours. Kidding. Honestly, that was the end of the list. That's kind of like
okay, yeah.
I didn't
see that one either.
Do you want to do just what we've watched for the week, and then probably head out?
Yeah,
after?
let's wrap up with that because I definitely got stuff I got to do today. Like I got to eat.
Yeah, I'm actually about to go on set at UCLA for a few hours. That'll be fun.
Oh well, you got shit to do too. So where's my list? So today, well, not this not today, but last week I started rewatching Stargate SG-1. I'm on season 1. Right after I was on the episode of right when they dialed into the black hole planet. I love that episode. Finished up season 1 of Lioness. Started on season 2. Excellent. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Just excellent all the way around. Acting, writing, direction.
That first season is one of the best seasons of TV I think
Yeah.
I've ever seen. It's great.
And it is not Yellowstone. Like at all. It's not Yellowstone. Then I got off to another one from Sheridan's Landman.
Oh, how is it?
I think I'm up to the latest release. There's a new episode release drops tomorrow. So I've watched 1 through 5, episode 1 through 5. Excellent. Billy Bob Thornton, excellent. Writing, excellent. Direction, excellent. It's just shit in oil wells, and it's captivating.
Taylor Sheridan, man. I don't know how. He just does it. He just does it.
And the one thing that is not Taylor Sheridan related that I watched this week, Skeleton Crew.
Ooh.
It continues to be. I mean, this is the first full episode we saw with Jude Law, where he worked from beginning to end. He was in it, and excellent. It's still, it's a kids movie or kids show, but it's still excellent, And Wim, that kid, I forget what the actor's name is, but the kid's going places. He's got some definite acting chops, and I know why he got selected for that role because he's awesome.
Oh, I love the kids, honestly. I think they cast them very well. Skeleton Crew's great. I wish we would have asked Jay if he'd seen it or not yet while he was here. I discussed it for 4 hours or 2.5 hours out of 4 hours last night with Chillin and Justin, and it was fun because Justin was like, "I will never watch it," and Chillin's just trying to go back and forth. Yeah, tell that to Justin.
Going back to the Secular Monk's comment, Doom Prophecy last episode was all right. I'm not up to date on. I think I've missed the last 2 episodes on Doom Prophecy. Let's see. The Lower Decks this week. Is Lower Decks back in?
Apparently it's on.
Is it? I got to catch up on that then.
Y'all check out Melvin tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skeleton Crew is just so much fun.
Conclave. Conclave sounds familiar. It may be on my watch list.
It's the new Ray Fiennes movie with him as a pope or a priest, a bishop.
I have not. Okay, I've seen it. I've seen it advertised. Have not watched it.
Me either. I wanted to go see it so bad. I keep meaning to.
Secular typically doesn't steer us wrong, so I'll have to move that up on my watch list.
Oh, he's got great taste.
And I want to see
Dexter.
The new Dexter. Yeah, the new Dexter is from Dexter fans. They like it, so that's high praise.
Yeah, I still haven't sat down to watch New Blood just yet. I couldn't. I was like, I just can't. But I need to.
Need to get on it.
Yeah.
So what have you seen this week?
Was that everything you've seen so far?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I watched a lot of TV, but it was mostly. Mostly Stargate.
Aye.
So that's like.
Okay, before I jump into my stuff, I kind of. If y'all want a video about this, I'll make a video about it because there are a couple ones I really do need to make this week, and this is one that I think I'd like to make as well. If y'all think it's a fun little theory/idea. For Skeleton Crew, I was not aware that this was even a thing, but they made it canon within the first episode or second episode because on the little pirate area, on the pirate port. Did you ever see Michael Jackson's little Disney film, Captain EO?
Yes.
Yes. One of our good friends that plays cards with us all the time, the guy that the videographer for the Colin Cunningham interview, he showed us that. He's in his mid-40s, just like, hey, y'all just don't know about this. You need to check it out. It's like, all right, we'll check it out. We watched it. We're like, this is fun. This is great. His little headcanon that he's saying, his little theory, which I'd love to actually delve into and make a little video about, if y'all are down, so let me know in the comments, of course, that Wim grows into being Captain EO. Because Captain EO's bassist was in the second episode as one of the pirates in the little spaceport. So maybe Wim is going to be trained as a Jedi or something growing up and then ends up being Captain EO. That'd be cool.
Wasn't Michael Jackson's Captain EO wasn't that a Disney production?
It was, and now it's Lucas. It wasn't Lucasfilm. It was just Disney, but now it's both, technically. Huh. It's still not a Lucasfilm production, but it's been roped into it all.
Because I thought that Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, they had a video, and I can't remember the title of it. Stop pressuring me, I think was the line in it, or the chorus. Stop pressuring me. I thought that had a lot of Lucasfilm effects in it. Because Michael Jackson always was big spendy on his videos.
Mm-hmm. Captain EO was a big Jim Henson production as well with him, I think, which is why it's so easy to just toss into Star Wars.
Yeah. Scream, that's right. Michael Furnkopf with the win. Scream was the...
I don't. I'm not a big poker guy. Because if I would be a big poker guy, but I wouldn't have any money left because I would do it all the time. So I don't let myself, essentially. Well, hee.
Oh, that was really good. You must be like...
that was surprising. That might have been... I'm not even going to try it again because that might have been the best one I've ever done. I was like, I need to go back because my eyes went, did I just make that noise right? Like, actually?
Startled.
I did startle myself. There was like, huh? Shit. Throw me out a frickin' at least you got the pronouns right.
There we go. Winners all.
But for this week though, after the Captain EO little headcanon theory there, I saw TV wise the penultimate episode of What We Do in the Shadows that ends this coming Tuesday, which I'm very sad about. I watched the penultimate episode to Yellowstone as well. I'm bad. I didn't catch up on Landman or Lioness or Dune Prophecy. Sorry, y'all. I think that might have been the only TV I watched this week. No. I watched some Fallen Skies. I'm almost done with Falling Skies. I think 2 episodes into the final season, the 5th season. And, hey, Colin Cunningham. I'm watching everything he does from now on, actually. Like, it's a lot of fun. I love John Pope. Film-wise, though, I think I mentioned last week that I went to go see The Return, the Odyssey kind of thing.
Right.
A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut. I think we talked about that a little bit, which was really good. Did go see Red One. I hated it. I'll be honest. I had the exact opposite. I couldn't stand it. It hurt me. That was one of those movies I was like, I would walk out right now if if I didn't have a friend with me going to go see the movie. I would have walked out of it and just said, you know what? I watched A Violent Night, like with David Harbour from last year again instead, you know? Not the best movie ever. Not really a very good movie either necessarily, but essentially The Purge with werewolves. Frank Grillo's new movie, Werewolves, was so much fun. It was stupid, but it was so much fun. It was one of those things. It's like, okay, maybe I can make a movie. Maybe it's not so hard to get a script off the chair sometimes, dust it off the table. But it was fun. And same thing for Y2K, the new A24 movie about the Y2K thing going on, of course. Right. It is the most middle of the road, lesser than middle of the road. I hate to say it that way, but it is. It's not a very good movie by any means. It's strictly nostalgia. And if you don't, and most of the actors obviously weren't alive or were born right as that was happening. So most of them don't even understand the thing. And you can tell TikTok day and age, our attention spans, they're not spending the time to go learn to be these 90s kids either. So they're like fun little references kind of deal. Cool. The thing that it's not a good movie. get stoned before it. It's fun. It's literally one of those ones like I would not recommend you going to go see that movie unless you're stoned. It's a stoner comedy. Actually.
Oh, unless you're stoned. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's legitimately a stoner comedy, and I say that with no facetiousness or anything like that. Like legitimately, don't go see it. You will be pissed off unless you got a little something to make it a little more smiley for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got an idea for like a new Stargate series, but I've got the treatment pretty much fleshed out. I just don't know how in the world you go about getting it done. But it's totally unique. Still uses gates, but I don't know. I just got no idea how to get that, because I used to know how to get stuff in production, but everything has changed since the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we grow, we might meet new people. I'd flesh it out a little bit.
We can chat about it after the stream.
That's what I was like. Maybe don't say it on stream, and we'll figure out someone to talk to or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff back from the 80s and 90s that's submitted to Writers Guild, but I'm guessing you just upload something. This is before you could upload shit.
Yeah, now it's streamlined and more complicated because you also don't want to upload it and then be one of 400 emails I got this morning, and you're like, okay, lost in the sauce. Yeah. Besides that, though, we talked about Craven. I saw Craven. I did see Creature Commandos, the newest episode on TV, as well as Skeleton Crew, and I really like the direction they're headed with both of those. Besides that, I'm pissed off I wasn't able to go see it. There were 2 times I was going to go see it this weekend, and I just wasn't able to ink it out. The first time I ended up going to see Greg's Play instead, and it was so much fun. But Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, that's one that both of us should be talking about here soon. If we can find the time for the theater this week, that'd be a fun one to discuss.
Well, hopefully it'll come to Las Cruces. I think Las Cruces is the end of the line for movies that's being released, because we didn't get Barbie opening week, we didn't get Oppenheimer, and you think New Mexico, Las Cruces would get Oppenheimer first run because it's right up the damn road.
It's 20 minutes that way.
Yeah. No, you don't get it opening week. You get it like opening next week.
Yeah, you get it opening next month after it's made a half billion.
Yeah, if you want to see it opening week, you'd have to go to like Santa Fe or probably Albuquerque, but not Las Cruces.
Right. How far is Santa Fe from you?
3.5 hours.
Okay.
Albuquerque's right at 3. Santa Fe, depending on what neighborhood, it's just about a half hour, 45 minutes further. If you just, depending if there's no traffic if you're running into no traffic in Albuquerque, then it's just straight there.
That's my second favorite city in the U.S. I love Santa Fe.
God, there's so many gorgeous art galleries in Santa Fe.
Oh, food and art. You just walk around and you're a happy camper.
Yeah.
And lowriders. Can't forget the lowriders. They're fun as hell. They're so much fun. But yeah, I think that's everything I've watched for this week. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Who just said? Klopp was saying, Harris, has anyone told you that you look like Cooper Norris from Landman? I got to Google it now. Who's Cooper Norris from Landman?
Okay. He's right. I see it and I can't unsee it. You do. Yeah. Is that the actor's name or is it? The character's name, I believe.
I guess I'll take it. I got better teeth than that dude. Give me that at least.
Yes, you do. Apparently, you've gone to the dentist in your life. Okay, so Joey with Horses of Power. I'm sorry, my dyslexia got. I thought that was Slow Horses.
Oh, that's funny. Instead of the Rings of Power, he's saying like since it's all Rohirrim stuff, it's the horse.
Yeah, I'm slow.
That's funny.
But yeah, so anyway, I did finish up Slow Horses week before last, and again another exceptional season. Big cliffhanger or big reveal at the very last. I mean, it's a big reveal, and
I want to see that so bad. I don't know. It's another series that I've just not taken the time to watch yet. That and Severance on Apple TV. I really want to watch both of those. And For All Mankind. I think you're a little more versed in that one.
Oh, so yeah, that was all I had.
Yeah, I think so. Anything crazy, cool, sci-fi that we can think of before we hop out of here? While we're thinking of that, real quick, on the 18th, so 3 days from now, this Wednesday, we will be doing our Stargate Atlantis charity stream, and Jamie, Sarah, and I will all be there periodically. I should be there for as much as I can, of course. After he gets off work, I think Chillin's going to pop in for a little bit, and we might be able to get a couple other folks in there. Whoever donates the most will get a gift card. And I think we're going to be doing some quizzes and some other fun things. So, yeah, keep your eyes out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be the charity we're going to be donating to is Toys for Tots. So, yeah, children and kids that just aren't able to have as good of a Christmas as they would otherwise will now be getting gifts. Thanks to you. So, let's help out.
I have bought more Lego stuff for Toys for Tots. It's like that's my go-to. Find something that's at Lego, on the Lego shelf, into the Toys for Tots bucket, and hope the kid has a great Christmas.
It's that's one of those organizations that I've never heard anything bad about, and I'm so happy because you hear about like big old nonprofits and they're back and forth. You always hear a little scandal or something.
Yeah.
But Toys for Tots has been around since I've been alive, I feel like, and I've never heard a single bad thing, which is good. Mm-hmm. Because, Red Cross doesn't even do everything the way you want it to. You're like, all right, well, that's going to your CEO, but Toys for Tots, that's good.
One thing I pride myself, about when I was doing Books for Soldiers, it ran for 22 years. I started it after 9/11. Any soldier serving overseas for the United States military could ask for a book, and we'd send it to them, totally free. Had 250,000 volunteers. I was in People Magazine and a bunch of other places. Oprah, and none of us took $1. Everybody was volunteer, including me, and it was it was the most rewarding thing I've ever done. But God, it was a pain in the ass.
Are you still involved with that at all? Like, did you started it? I guess.
I started it. I was the founder. I ran it for 22 years. We went on hiatus. And then all of a sudden the Ukraine war started, so we got out of hiatus. But one of the things we discovered was Books for Soldiers was kind of it had seen its best days, because at the beginning of the war in Afghanistan, there was no such thing as a Kindle. There was no such thing as an iPhone. That's how long ago it was. And so the only way our soldiers could read anything. They can't load their backpack up full of paperbacks they had limited resources. So we started sending care packages to them, lots of books, snacks, Band-Aids, and at the end, most people were going to war, were being deployed someplace. I'm just going to download this book to my smartphone, or to my Kindle or my tablet. And it's like they didn't need us anymore, and I think it's good. I think it's bad. The reason I think it's bad is because I've got about 1,100 letters, emails, notes, and whatever from soldiers saying something like this: "Thank you so much for sending that book, because it really gave me the courage to take the gun out of my mouth." There's not a lot of emotional. When you're getting something from a total stranger here in the States and you're deployed, you're being shot at, and God knows what else these soldiers have gone through for us. A lot of them feel disconnected. They have no family back home, and Books for Soldiers were just total strangers sending them books, sending them letters of hope and love and whatever we could do to uplift their spirits. You don't get that from a Kindle. And I think that's the one thing that is the downside of Books for Soldiers having to close.
Could you send Kindles maybe? And then I guess the other thought I had while you were saying all that was, well, I guess then because you're after you send a Kindle, that's expensive enough for one little go itself, and then after that, what you get a code to keep sending people books, and you just have to like volunteer for your specific soldier or something, or
we got a big donation of Kindles, and we had a whole Kindle program, and Kindles didn't last any time in a war zone.
That makes sense too.
Just a day or two, and they were fucking done. You put it in your ruck, and you go maneuvers or whatever, and it's destroyed. It was just a paperback can hold up, and it was. I'm sure they're more robust now, but when they first came out, 2007, 2008, whatever that was, we totally destroyed them. Totally destroyed them.
Yeah. Well, because the other thing that you made me think of right then is because that's one thing you literally. I mean, I shouldn't say the word because it might demonetize us, but just someone gets in the position to have a gun in their mouth like that. What is the one thing that you can do to get that out? Is to hand them something else to put in their hands, and that book is the perfect thing to do that. It's a simple thing. Put them into a new world. Leave, escape. That's where escapism is good. Is like, hey, you're in a bad situation right now, and yes, you have signed up to be there. Yes, it is your job. Whatever that may be, you're still doing something that nobody else is willing to do, and it's some hard stuff. If you're going to be able to sit through that hard stuff, a little escapism is never a bad thing.
Yeah,
I feel like that book is a perfect thing. And if you're just going to download it off your phone, hey, we're all privy to it. You and I even probably, and we're some of the biggest book people that both of us probably know, just in general. Definitely age-wise, I don't know very many book people my age, which sucks, but hopefully it becomes big again.
You'd be surprised. I think you'd be.
There are a few. But I guess the main point is, if they're just going to download it on an app, you're not going to reach that app most of the time. Even your Audible app, you're not going to go. Well, you got Twitter, you got TikTok, you got Facebook. You got whatever for the day. You're going to hit that app before you go to your book anyway. And that's going to give you not the same type of escapism, and it is going to give you an escapism. It's not going to be a healthy escapism. It's not going to be something that makes your brain actually work. It's that, for lack of a better term, it's brain rot. It's just kind of, I think it strengthens the bad thoughts and not necessarily helps them.
And so I did some, research, and these guys that, thank me for helping them not take their life, which I'm totally undeserving of. But I researched what they got, and it didn't matter what the title was. I mean, they got Louis L'Amour, they got Stephen King, they got Tom Clancy, they got 100 Middle Eastern easy to cook recipes, they got Better Homes and Gardens, but they got everything. And, it was kind of obvious that there was no one, we didn't send out self-help books to these people. They weren't reading self-help books. It didn't matter what we sent them. It was the sentiment that somebody back home, I believe, somebody back home gave a shit. Because there are a lot of Americans that didn't give a shit. They gave a shit enough to put a yellow ribbon on the back, magnetic ribbon on the back of their car, and they washed their hands off.
To probably get a couple dollars off in taxes.
And probably get a couple dollars off their taxes.
That's
but anyway, going back to, a lot of nonprofits, the CEOs make out like bandits. They do. But one thing I was always proud of, we raised $32 million, and none of it was spent on my salary or anybody's salary, because everybody was 100% volunteer.
Is it still operable, or has it just?
I shut it down last September on 9/11.
Okay.
Because there was just nobody. We'd get like one request a month, and it's just not worth keeping the servers running and all the maintenance that's required for a server, especially with all the encryption that the DoD wanted us to have. Because they are publishing, they are giving us they were giving us their addresses, which are sensitive.
Yes.
And so it was just, the mechanics of it, the finances of it. It was just 22 years was enough, and we did a lot of good, but we were supplanted by technology.
For better and worse, and in that situation, it does seem like it might be a little bit worse. But also, hey, you might have maybe someone's watching the video version of it on Professor Cringe now. Who knows?
Well, the cool thing is, we were supplanted by technology. Kindles have gotten better, but now there's Kindles and tablets and smartphones, and now so the access to English materials or any kind, whatever language you want, you can get it anywhere. Because first thing the Signals does is they put in Wi-Fi to every place where the soldiers are deployed. And so everybody can get these books. But before all this technology occurred, they had to go through us, and it was like a month turnaround time by the time we got the request, got it filled, found the book, got it filled, shipped to them. Actually, it shipped to New Jersey. Then New Jersey would send it to Kosovo. Kosovo would scan it and X-ray it and all that stuff, and then send it to wherever the fuck they were in the Middle East. So now they get it instantly, and so their literary needs are being met at a faster rate, and any soldier can now have access to that, where previously it was very limited to us.
Yeah.
So
it is better.
I mean, it's good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, like Peter and like David just said, I couldn't gush about it enough, but that freaking kudos, like as big of a kudos as possible. That's like legitimately.
I appreciate it. If you want to read about it, just type into my name, Storm Williams, into Google, and People Magazine. Storm Williams, People Magazine, and it should come up like the first or second link on Google.
Oh yeah, here I'll bring it up so people can see it real quick.
Oh, okay, cool. I forget you can do that.
Storm Williams right here, and then you see boost soldiers' morale with books.
God, that was 2012.
Our beautiful Storm.
Look at that second chin of mine. My God, I'm glad that thing's gone.
All you needed was a Gandalf hat. And
yeah, right. Do you know People Magazine spent $50,000 on that photo?
Who? How?
So they flew a photographer in, and they bought the cot that the guy is sitting on that was flown in from New York from some prop house. The books I provided. But yeah, they flew in a camera guy, his entire studio setup, even though they rented a studio in Greensboro, High Point, North Carolina, to shoot this. So there was the photographer, the gear, the prop, and if you notice my hair, and the soldiers' hair, for whatever reason, they also sent a hairstylist and a makeup, right? So we had hair, makeup, the photographer, the lighting guy, and all of a sudden, $50,000. Damn.
Hey, well, for the amount you've raised for soldiers and the books, sending to, you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah,
the books to send over to the soldiers and all of that. That they should have given you a $500,000 photo shoot. They should have made you a Fabio for all the good you've done, because that's legitimately insane. That's awesome.
I have, whenever I was interviewed, lots of people was wanting to interview me. They wouldn't shut up about Books for Soldiers on Fox and Friends. And they'd always, well, let's just interview you and la-da-da-da. And I said, if you interview me, it becomes about me, not about the soldiers. So the guy you see sitting there, he was, I think he was a public affairs officer in North Carolina, Fort Bragg, I think, North Carolina. And he said, look, at some point, we want to see who's doing this for us. We want to see who to think. And so I agreed to do one photo shoot with People Magazine, talking about me and how I did it, or what the basis of it was for. But you also have to have the public affairs officer that wants me to do it. He's got to be in the photo too, because I don't want it. I mean, it's not about me. I mean, and the thing that pisses me off is, why do I have to be the guy to help these soldiers? Why is the morale and the health and welfare of our soldiers put in the hands of citizens that give a shit? It should be a function of the DOD, but it never fucking is. Soldiers always get the shit into the stick here in this country, and it just makes me so goddamn mad.
Well, and a lot of the organizations that tend to help them turn out to be some of the worst organizations. Like, I hate to say it,
Just,
Wounded Warrior Project seemed like it was going to be great for years, and it was taking money the whole time in such a big way. And it was so sad and disheartening whenever you actually hear that and it comes out that it's been going on for years and years and years. Like,
God, it was. I've got stories about this I really don't want to put out there. Maybe we can talk in private at some point in time. But I don't want to use the fraud word, but many of these organizations do not have the soldiers' best interest at heart.
No.
And I learned it the hard way. It's deeply saddening. And again, why am I, as a private citizen, my task to take care of the soldiers? Well, they're our soldiers. So if you don't think they're your soldiers, well, and you're American, well, fuck you. They are your soldiers, and you should help them any way you can.
Because they're helping you on a daily basis.
Because they're helping you
100% of whatever puts in there or whatever. They're still helping you on a daily basis.
You know, and I've done other things for soldiers, you know, volunteering my time, helping them get off the streets, getting them into rehab, getting them jobs. I mean, it just, for me, it didn't stop at Books for Soldiers. And a lot of times, I mean, you just got to shake your head like, what are we doing? You know, and how can we even contemplate cutting veteran benefits? We should be increasing them, not cutting them. Oh, that's a whole other kettle of fish. I don't want to go there, but yeah, I thank you for your kind comments and kind words on Books for Soldiers.
Oh, screw that! Thank you for doing it all for 22 freaking years and doing that. That's
Pshaw.
Before we hop out of here, and like the one thing, just to bring it back to a little levity, that I wish you did rob me of one thing, Stormy.
Oh no!
And I would have loved to just have had this just to dangle over you whenever.
Did I teleport your cat away?
No, they just run. No, you almost went on Fox News. We would have had Stormy Bear on Fox News. That would have been the funniest thing I've ever seen. Of course, the book thing would have been great, but just nowadays, just Stormy on Fox News.
Yeah, well, I know I was invited once, and somebody else said, "Yeah, go do it." So shut them up. And but I got bumped. I mean, they sent the car. I was going to shoot it at the Fox affiliate in San Francisco, and got there. But my segment got cut because somebody got bit by a rattlesnake in a Publix someplace in Florida.
In a rattlesnake in Florida?
There's a fucking rattlesnake in Florida, and somebody got bit.
I've never heard of a rattlesnake in Florida. Maybe some moccasins or something, but like,
it was. Who knew, right? And so that. But I will say, Fox and Friends, especially Steve Ducey, would not shut up about it. I mean, our traffic. Every time he mentioned us, our traffic would go up. You know, soldiers would respond, "Hey, I heard I can get a free book." So, goddamn right, you can get a free book. You know, and they were really helpful. Oprah's organization was really helpful. Let me do some shout outs to some authors. Tom Clancy. Before he died, he helped us every way he could. Brad Thor. He's a writer, I think, out of Chicago, kind of a Tom Clancy, military novels. Helped us every way he could. Michael Moore, the filmmaker, the #1 donor ever for Books for Soldiers. I mean, he donated books and DVDs. For his tour of Fahrenheit 9/11, he promoted Books for Soldiers at every stop. We were in the credits to the theatrical release of the movie, and I think the DVD too. I'm not sure.
Michael Moore?
Michael Moore.
I wouldn't have thought he'd help a soldier oriented.
I didn't have to hunt him down. He reached out to me.
That's amazing.
That's and did I say Stephen King? Stephen King.
No, yeah.
Oh God! Hang on a second. Let me Google something real quick.
Pandora's box over here. We're not talking about science for 2 more hours. We're going to end up talking charity for another 2 hours, 3 hours.
Neil Gaiman.
No shit.
Neil Gaiman. And also, let me send a shout out to. Let me try to think of his name. I got to go back to IMDb. Hang on a second. Bear with me.
David said, just jokingly, by any chance, were there any magazines for the lads and ladies? You know what I mean.
Okay, so I got a phone call from somebody, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I got a phone call from DOD with some very strict orders on rules that we had to follow to send books to soldiers overseas. One was no publications dealing with politics unless the soldier specifically asked for them.
Okay.
No porn at all whatsoever, period.
Not New Age Art Nouveau from the 70s or something?
Do what?
I said you can't even sneak in some New Age Art Nouveau or something from the 70s?
That was a no. Absolutely not. The other one was, let's see, I'm still looking up, all cast, crew, production, do this.
Well, that answers that. But agreed, Peter. Every time Stormy opens up as his little Pandora box.
Joel Silver. That's Joel Silver. He would get, because of the success of The Matrix, comic book companies would send him boxes, and I mean boxes of comic books, right? Just send them to him, just so he could, hoping that they would catch his attention or whatever. And Joel Silver sent them all to me. And so I would divide him down to like five or six books to a package, because you had a limit on 25 pounds that we could send over at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Joel Silver, diamond of a guy, at least, in terms of donating stuff. So the other thing was, the rule from DOD was absolutely positively no unsolicited romance novels. Evidently, there was a complaint filed.
Hey, we'll start reading about some romance. Better watch out.
Yeah. So anyway, there was no porn, and you can only and religious texts. Nothing religious, nothing political, and no romance novels, unless the soldier specifically asked for that genre or that type. Everything else was golden.
Very complete, illustrated. David said, when you're writing your life story, it sounds super interesting, and it should be called Stormy Weather.
Oh, that's perfect. Who said that, David?
David did.
Bro, you got to go into marketing. I
love it.
So
hey,
anyway,
I would proofread any day for you. Stormy life weather.
Stormy life weather,
Stormy's weather. There's a bunch of good things you can do with that.
There's a lot of good stuff there.
Anyway,
that was the short story of Books for Soldiers.
I'd read it. I'd read it as well, honestly. And then I'd make a movie out of it right after.
Yeah, that's 4,218 on my to-do list. Is my life story.
Oh, that was a simple one, but a good one too. Weathering the Storm.
Weathering the Storm. Oh, Sci-Fi Quest. You have a future in marketing. There we go.
Melvin, good man. But before we hop out of here, just to reiterate, the charity talk did come on from SGA. Right. The 18th, we will be doing our charity stream. So come say howdy, and we will try to do our best Storm Bear. I don't know if we can get that fancy that quickly, but we're gonna emulate Stormy as much as we can that day and help some people out, help a bunch of kids out. Who would play Stormy in the film? We're gonna just de-age Danny DeVito and let it happen.
That would be fitting, wouldn't it?
It would be great. Put him in a Gandalf hat.
Put him in a Gandalf hat.
We'll actually put Ian McKellen and Danny DeVito, just de-age both of them, and then put them together with a deep fake afterwards, and we're there.
I'd love it. Love it.
Anything else you can think of before we hop out of here?
Nah. I've talked enough today. My throat's getting harshly hoarse. I can English.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I am my leg's shaking. I'm about to go pull a J the second we get off this. I'm gonna go straight to the
Pulling a J. Is that the new euphemism for going to the bathroom? Pulling a J.
Yeah, pulling a J. It sounds like I say something like that. Somebody's gonna think I'm smoking some weed, like a joint or something. But I'm gonna say pulling a J. I'm gonna go straight to the toilet, and they're gonna be really confused.
Yeah, it's yeah. We could use some guidance on that phrase. So anyway, it's great seeing everybody today.
Yes.
Have a great week until we see you next time.
Yeah. Great stream, great episode. Next time we'll see you. We have some other things we'll be dropping, of course. A couple videos, I think, before Wednesday. And Wednesday we'll see y'all. I think I might not be able to do a Radical Wasteland podcast on Friday because I'm flying back to Texas. But we will figure that out, and we'll keep you posted in the meantime.
I got no idea what my holiday plans are going to be, but probably not here.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. We'll see y'all Wednesday and have a few videos out for you in the meantime.
Love you guys. Take care.
Love y'all. Adios.
Bye.